Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good day to you, kids. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything, but hey, if you do, we got you covered. All 3 hours going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Woohoo! Man, I am pumped today, kids. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. WTSM app, great for mobile devices. If you're listening on your phone, on your iPad, whatever it might be, you just download that free WTSM app and you're good to go. I thought you were fixing your hair. You looked like a woman in the mirror fixing her hair. I was like, what's he doing? He never does that.
Men can fix their hair too, sir.
Ridiculous.
But no, I was fixing the hat and the earbuds and everything.
You went back to the old ones.
I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was a forget. It wasn't you weren't banishing them.
No, I like the other cans.
You like the other cans?
That's what they call them.
I know they're called cans. Who doesn't like cans? JCS at ESPNRadio.com is the email address. Fire away with those emails, kids. We're on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. All right. Florida State with a big-time comeback when it had to happen. You know something, Tom? We talked earlier this afternoon, and we'll get into this game here in a second with the Noles knocking off Clemson. And, oh, by the way, tomorrow Florida State baseball begins. Mike Martin Jr. will join us tomorrow on the program for the long-form interview we do at the start of every baseball season. Get to all that momentarily. But first, something we didn't mention. So, oftentimes when we watch and listen to the criticisms and or the compliments that Leonard Hamilton and his staff get, there are reoccurring compliments and complaints. And sometimes that has to do with adjustments. Sometimes it has to do with, whatever the offensive game plan might be, whatever. But I'll tell you something. If I were a Clemson fan today, it's been such a good year for Clemson, you might not think about it. But Clemson kind of choked at the end of this game here. If they foul, they had it to win, and they allowed for that Forrest layup, as improbable as it was, to tie the game. That was ridiculous.
They had it.
They did have it, Louis.
They had it.
Unbelievable. That's Mr. Anderson.
They had it.
But thankfully, they didn't think about it. Had they bothered to foul there, they foul any FSU player who has the ball before you get the shot off, and we wouldn't have had a time to set up a play and get the game-tying basket.
Yeah, but you have that, and then you have a Terrence Mann steal on an inbound pass, too, plus a 5-second call that got later on.
They did a lot of things that Florida State fans would be irate about if it had gone the other way.
Missed free throws.
Yeah, Well, I never understand how that's grouped into coaching. You either make or miss free throws. Some guys do it no matter if they're 98% or 50%. I mean, we see this all the time. That's a game-to-game sort of thing usually. But
how about the 5-second call right next to the bench? We can relate to that from 2 years ago.
Crazy. All right, so the Noles, choo-choo, get the big win they had to have. That's a sixth really high-quality victory against the top 50, in this case top 5 RPI team. And it doesn't punch your ticket for sure, but it goes a long way in punching your ticket to the NCAA tournament. Now, if you are able to win the remainder of your home games, those 2 games are against Pitt, the first one being Pitt this Sunday. And then the final game of the year at home against Boston College, which is the final regular season game of the season, you're going to the tournament. You are. That's what last night's win means. Now, doesn't mean you can't win the other ones. If you'd like to go knock off NC State and or Clemson, last night's foe, on the road, that'd be great, just for assurances. But I don't know that it's necessary. I do know it's not necessary. It's just not. That's a big win last night. That's what that does for you. We talk about wiggle room and margin for error and bubbles and all that stuff. That was huge. That was really huge. And it was weird because it really was the opposite. We played, it was Bizarro World last night. I figured, we all did, I think with good reason too. I mean, the track record, all the evidence that had mounted over the course of a season suggested that they would come out on fire to start the game. Desperate. They play great at home. They know how much they have to have it. Game doesn't mean that much to Clemson, who's already secured their position in the NCAA tournament. They're in second place, number 4 RPI. Clemson's easily in the tournament. So all of it added up to the idea, anyhow, that the TLCCC would be rocking and that you would really get a big early effort from Florida State looking to bounce back, get the bad taste out of their mouth after the Notre Dame game, and they would start out house on fire and then have to kind of make sure they didn't have that second half collapse. Now, we've seen the second half collapse all too often this year. Sometimes it's unfairly called a collapse, but either way, big leads have absolutely dissipated very quickly in the second half of games, and we thought, well, it's more than a trend. It's a bit of a problem. Opposite was true last night. Florida State could not have come out and looked any worse. They couldn't have come out looking flatter. Clemson couldn't have come out and looked more energized and ready to roll. The place was kind of quiet. I mean, everything about what was going on last night was not what I thought would happen, and it was disconcerting to say the least. You're sitting there watching this half develop, and you're going, oh, no. This is a continuation of the Notre Dame game, the second half of the Notre Dame game. They look at maybe there isn't anything left. Maybe they're not healthy enough, which is what we talked about yesterday. Maybe there's just nothing for them. There's no other gear. They're done. And all of those terrifying thoughts that wash over you, which is that it could just be the best is behind this team. Because you watch teams collapse at the end of years, any team that's like right there, you know, when you look at Joe Lunardi's bracketology and you're saying, well, this team's close, this team, they always look at trending. They're always looking at, well, how'd you play over your last 10? How'd you play over your last 5? How'd you play? And you'll see a team that go, man, during the middle part of this season, that team was really good. What happened? But since we don't cover that team, we don't watch them every week, who knows? Could be an injury, could have been a falling out between a coach and a player, could have been any number of things. But something triggers a slide. And when it happens, you'll look at the schedule and you'll go, well, they've lost 4 of their last 5, and they're just not playing the same way. They're not turning this around. And I was thinking as I was watching us, are we in the midst of one of those? Is that what's going on here? We're going to lose our 3rd straight. We're in real trouble here. And then the second half begins, and I'm speaking in generalities now. We'll get into the specifics in a bit. And I think, okay, well, your season's on the line, man. I mean, I'm hoping, I'm imploring in my mind Ham to go nuts in the locker room, which he never does. And I don't mean that as a knock. He's steady Eddie. It's one of the things that is really likable about him is when things are bad, he's the same guy as when things are good, and they can rely on that. You know, they always know what they're going to get out of him. But in my mind, I'm like, man, I hope he's tossing chairs. I hope he's flipping out going, this can't happen. This is our season. We're at home. You got to find a way to fight back and get in this game. And we come out and immediately give up open looks, and that lead goes from 12 to 18. You're down 18 points at the 18-minute mark with your season on the line. And then the brass ones. Then the cojones are found, and it happens. And the rally, torrid as it was, begins, and the place is energized. And you watch Trent Forrest and Terrence Mann and Phil Kofer willing their team back into a basketball game and finding their way to get in a position to tie the game late and obviously send it to overtime where Florida State wins.
Yeah, watching the first half of this game, first few possessions, I thought we moved the ball well, generated some good open looks, but we weren't hitting our shots. Then defensively, we were lax and giving up a ton of open looks, and Clemson was more than okay with hitting some of those open looks. And then it turned into this flat whistle fest where it felt like, and we've talked about this in recent shows, you know, one of the most excruciating things in the world is to watch a closer blow a save, especially one that features, let's say, a 9 or a 10-pitch bat. Because now you're talking about 3 or 4 minutes of just living through it. You already know how it ends.
Yeah,
but you're going to make me wait for another 5 minutes.
Line drive in the alley.
To watch my team lose. Or down down the line, here we go, it's in the corner.
Yeah.
Why is my left fielder even
Just
chasing
kicking it around.
Just go run to the dugout. We're done here. Don't chase it. Just leave it. Let it go.
I actually like when they do that. You see that sometimes where a guy just
or walk-off home run and, he's just jogging in. He's already jogging in because that's 500 feet of get you some, as you like to say.
Right.
And this whistle fest is going on, and we're fouling and closing out on 3-point shooters. There are 4 of those in the first half, which I hate as a basketball fan. Like, even when they did it to us, I'm like, good Lord, with this lack of fundamentals.
Frustrating.
Then the second half is like it's on DVR 2x speed because there aren't many whistles at all. You don't even get into the bonus until overtime in this game.
And you flip the script on the turnovers.
There's no doubt about that. You force them with defensive intensity. The building finally comes to life for the first time. And you talk about a couple of possessions where you cause live ball turnovers that turn into easy layups. I mean, the place is rocking in the middle of a 17-2 run that you end up going on where Phil Kofer is leading the way. He had no points at the break. He had 17 points at the start of overtime. I mean, he made so many big shots last night, and Trent Forrest is the one that's going to grab the biggest highlights.
Well, as he should, though. He deserved that last night. Good on you, Trent Forrest. Been praising you all year. I love to see that kind of performance from a young man who I think can be a star.
I agree. A couple of those baskets came, and they delivered in the moment. I mean, they delivered in style. But Kofor kept us alive in so many key instances in that second half with the three-pointer answering, a Clemson shot to
right
put it at
back down,
7. It comes right down. He hits a 3. You got one fadeaway by the bench. That's ridiculous from
and
16,
he has the
18
one from
feet.
about the free throw line when it's a 6 or 8 point game. He
Right.
hits that shot.
You get it down to a one-possession game in the last 2 minutes. And then, of course, Forrest hits, that incredible runner to put it back at 70 all with 8 and change seconds to go. But there's just so many things about that game that shows you why you love this team and why you're kind of afraid when there's something on the line. And it just ended up going our way instead of a first-half lead, a lead at halftime that's double digits, and it doesn't go our way. And it had to happen last night. What an amazing win. I'm not going to forget this one for a while.
No, and it's a reminder, again, that for all of our frustration and whether it's a week in, week out complaint about a certain element of the team or not, that listen, if you hyper-focused on other teams in this conference, there are elements of what they do that would drive you nuts. Everybody has that, right? They take turns showcasing what's good about a team, what's bad about a team, but by and large, you're trying to judge the totality of a team, and the totality of this team is one that has a lot of guts, a lot of toughness mentally and physically, and a will to fight that is very admirable and a lot of fun to embrace and watch. Listen, in addition to all of that, all of those sort of cliche, hey, you got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and fight, the game is on the line, you got to care as much, they made adjustments. They made big adjustments. They began to trap and press. They began to cause turnovers. Clemson turned the ball over because the pressure was mounted by Florida State's defensive effort because of the adjustment the coaches made in the second half, which led to live ball turnovers, transition baskets, which changed the tenor of this game to where Clemson had game pressure. They began to feel that they were in a game as opposed to, everything's all right, we're going to cruise to victory here. The next thing you know, they look up before even the 10-minute mark, meaning the second half, it's a 3-point game. So Florida State had totally shifted what they were doing defensively and dictated terms and changed the complexion of what could happen in this game. And that is a coaching adjustment that you got to be happy to see. And you got to see, obviously, you got to praise, I should say, the execution of said change in defensive strategy by the players. So a lot of things on display here to go along with all the stuff about courage and guts and reaching down deep. A lot of good things here.
Well, I think also the important thing, you look at the first half, and we're starting to push and rally towards the end of the first half and get it down to whatever it is, a couple of possessions. But we just couldn't get any stops, or we couldn't get any empty possessions. It either would end up in a foul or a made basket. Or I think we give up more N1 opportunities than any team in the country. I mean,
we probably don't.
We probably
but it
don't.
Just feels that way.
I'll bet you it's top 25.
Well, I'll go look. You're going to make me look. I don't think it is.
Oh, my goodness. An N1 from 3, an N1 down low. It feels like we give up 3 or 4 of those a game. And, again, it's excruciating for us because we have missed free throws in that span of time as well. Right. So you're just living this thing, and it's just so very slow and plodding. And you think about the energy it took to get it back to a couple of possessions. And you get to the half, and you think, all right, maybe they can gear up again. And then they push it to 18. And then you tie the game at 59, and Clemson pulls back away, and they're up a couple of possessions with 2 minutes to go. And you're thinking, you can't have anything left in the bag. How many times have we seen a team rally, but they don't see the ball go through the basket? Yeah. They don't see the lead change. You know what I mean? Like, they don't see it.
And I give Clemson a lot of credit, too, because when we came rallying back to tie it, I thought we're going to go ahead and breeze past them. This has been an awful half for them. And, again, getting back to the mindset of the two teams, they don't have a lot to play for. Just go lay down already.
But there's so many times you see a team run out of gas after they just get it to that point, but they can't run through the bag. They just get you to the bag. And last night – exactly. It's first base, man. You got to run through the bag,
baby. Then break down, see if the throw's on target.
We get a couple of lucky bounces, both in regulation and overtime. You have an inbounds turnover. Terrence Mann makes a hell of a play. It gets the timeout called. I don't know what Jaminski's talking about. Watching it at home, bedridden. About I think the timeout was more valuable in the possession. That's just nonsense.
That's nonsense. I didn't hear what he said. I wasn't watching at home, but what I would say is that he had room. He didn't have to call the timeout. I don't know if that was brought up, but I mean, he's got room when he gets the ball.
Well, it looked like he was going to fall out of bounds, and if you call timeout in that circumstance, that's not legal.
Which he actually does.
Yeah, right. And he actually makes the pass.
Yeah, he didn't have to. Yeah,
right.
Okay.
But then, I mean, think about it also in overtime. You have a miss. We come up empty, and then Clemson travels on a rebound where two guys are trying to rebound the
wrestling with
basketball
each other.
together.
Yeah, it was
You have a
beautiful.
5-second call right next to Brownell.
By the way, really good call by that official who oftentimes will choose to ignore a mini travel. I mean, we do know in the modern game,
Even last night, there were a few from both sides where
not
you're like,
really called all that
oh,
frequently.
God, that was 4 steps. We're going to go with that both ways.
Yeah.
And then you have the 5-second call right next to Brownell where, again, that's like from the Pitt game a couple of years ago. If you're the head coach, my man, call a timeout.
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk about this for a while. And then we almost give the game right back, which is, what we've done a couple of times, a couple of close calls. With the inbounds pass all the way to CJ, it ends up being called for a foul on a jump ball down by their basket. There's just so many things. We had to have the chutzpah and the mental energy to come back not once, not twice, but 3 different times. Mm-hmm. But then we also had to get a little lucky, too. And all those cards fell together for us, or stacked together.
Well, I think when you increase the defensive intensity and pressure, you create a lot of your own luck because you're now changing the way the game's being played and what Clemson has to do to execute. And so you're putting more pressure on each possession for them. And usually that's going, not always, but it's usually going to result in the kinds of some of the mistakes you saw from Clemson. So we dictated terms there in the second half in the way that Clemson dictated terms in the first half. And so those adjustments turned out to be critical. And listen, at the end of the day, a lot of different players took turns being stars here. I was really happy, specifically for Trent Forrest. That's not to ignore the play at various points of other guys, including Phil Kofer, who's really had himself a great year, and that's not to be overlooked. And, God, they're talking about him getting yet another year of eligibility because of all the injuries he's had here. He could be back again next year. Roll out 42-year-old Phil Kofer on your ass. But
he would be Pops at that time, would he not?
Well, he's old school with the shorts. He's old school just in general.
Pops Kofer.
Yeah, he'd be out there, Pops Kofer, doing it. Get you some of this. Here's a little elbow for you.
Here's a little fadeaway.
It's going
to clip the banner on the way up and come down.
I love it. It gives you a lot of time to get nervous, but I do love it, especially when he's on target with it because the net barely moves, and he hit a number of those last night in big moments of the game. So I'm not ignoring the other efforts, but Trent Forrest really had a kind of a coming out party. I say it's a coming out party. I've been talking about him for all year long, and we're a better team when he's on the court. I do believe that. And if he's going to get to the basket and make shots and hit big free throws at the end of games, then you got to get him out there a little bit more frequently. Florida State was not in a must-win situation last night, but I did describe the game going in as a game that if they lost, they would be in deep trouble. And I think that's true. But by winning the game, they're in a very, very good position. And this looks like a team now that is poised to make the NCAA tournament in back-to-back years. And I cannot overstate the importance of that in my mind from a program standpoint, but also the accomplishment if it happens. It's a regular season basketball game. I got it. There are more basketball games to play, and we'll play bigger ones if, in fact, we do make the NCAA tournament. But to lose the amount of offense that you lost from last year's team, again, we're talking about 2 NBA talents and another kid playing international basketball.
The amount of minutes, too.
The amount of minutes, the amount of points. Most teams and most programs, certainly programs like this, not your upper echelon, McDonald's All-Americans, litter the bench programs, can't lose that kind of production in a given year and expect to bounce back and be a tournament team. Doesn't ordinarily happen. Unless you're really building something with quality depth and obviously a talent and a skill that will allow you to survive that. And it looks like they very well may have done that with last night's win, kind of punched through and done what I said was the goal at the start of the season, which was simply get back to the dance, man. It's been a while since you sustained a level of excellence, since you sustained what we would, I guess, describe as what we think is acceptable, which is to be a yearly team of significance. Now, at a place like Florida State, you can argue whether that should be, I said 3 out of 5 years. You ought to be making the tournament every 3 out of 5 years. I'd love to get it to a point where you just assume that you're going to make the tournament and then from there get into arguments about what's reasonable in it. But in order to get to that place where you can have that discussion, you got to have at least back-to-back years where you make the tournament.
You know, especially when you're not just changing tires, you're reinventing the whole wheel about how we do things here and what we value philosophically as a program. We're offense first now.
Oh yeah, we're offense first. We're very efficient on offense. We're also tempo oriented. We want to go, and if you look at those numbers, we're amongst the fastest teams in the country. So it's desirable to watch. I think if you're a kid coming out of high school, it's a little bit more desirable to play than it used to be, right?
Sure.
And also at times it can be, it has its downside, which is that we're not real good defensively.
Listen, I know you dealt with this headlines on Tuesday, and there will always be a fire the coach contingent. I mean, insert coach. Doesn't even have to be him.
Well, yeah,
there'll always be a fire the coach contingent. But this era, the last 3-4 years, it's like having a different coach. I know the faces are the same, man.
Yeah, at least in terms of the way they embrace the other philosophies.
It's completely. I mean, if you were able to, black out what was on the sidelines, and you just saw the product on the court, and you said, "Tell me, did Florida State make a coaching change or not?" You'd say, "Absolutely. That's a different guy. What is this?"
Well, and it's weird because it's not something that you think is all that possible. Typically, people have their philosophy. They have the way they play the game. They have the way they teach and coach the game, the way they recruit the players to fit into a system and all of that. And they did it this way for such a long time. In addition to, let's not ignore the fact that he's old. Old people are usually set in their ways. They don't change too much. I'm not knocking old people here. I do all the time, but that's not a knock on old people. That's just traditionally true. You don't see too many forward-thinking, progressive old people. After a while, they kind of believe what they believe, and that's the way it is. Well, this guy changed everything about – well, he may not have changed everything about his philosophy because he would argue that he's always wanted to do this.
Yeah, considering his preseason talks every year have always been about, well, we're actually going to get up and down the court with some skill this year.
But what he did do was actually change the way he went about coaching it and allowing for it to happen and recruiting it.
Yeah,
because we have
Yes.
different players.
Yes,
we have different players. Different players who won a big game last night against Clemson. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years.
Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit. And at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Out on the golf course, there are the obvious hazards. There's the pond, the bunker, the rough, the even rougher.
Yeah, put me down for an 8.
The giant maples. The row of houses out of bounds on the right. The angry flock of geese who've surrounded your ball. Even the occasional groundskeeper you had no clue was there. But if you think you found every possible hazard out there, think again. The hazard you missed could actually be a killer. It's the spot on your skin, the one that could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4DRDELAY. That's 833, the number 4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833, the number 4, Dr. DeLay. Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
You're listening to the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
And you know how good a kicker somebody is when they don't play for your team in the pros and you're saddened to see that they're leaving the organization? Sebastian Janikowski, no longer a Raider. 18-year run of on the table. That guy wasn't having it and never scared. Never scared. Crazy. I've always admired the mentality that it takes to obviously recognize the magnitude of a situation, a game on the line, the magnitude of the kick you're about to have to attempt, and the willingness or ability to somehow block all of that out and not care in the slightest. It's amazing.
And it feels like every time he lined up for a big kick, he had just set down a giant plastic cup of beer.
Because he probably had. Raiders owner Mark Davis, who still looks goofier than all hell, said this today: the Raider Nation salutes Sebastian Janikowski as the sun sets on his illustrious career with the Oakland Raiders. He joined the team as a first-round pick in the 2000 draft and finishes his time in Oakland as one of the greatest, or perhaps the greatest kicker in football history. I'm going to save that one for Vinatieri. His powerful left leg produced an NFL record 55 field goals of 50 or more yards. The motto, once a Raider, always a Raider, has never been more true, as his 18-year career makes him the longest tenured player in Raiders history. Janikowski, the Raiders' all-time leading scorer, by the way. He's also 11th in NFL history, spent last season on the IR. His locker was cleaned out by midseason. He will turn 40 on March the 2nd, and that makes me feel old because I remember him violating curfew before the national championship game against Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl. And I remember Bowden's completely appropriate response about that, which is to let him play with no restriction It is the national championship. It was New Year's Eve. Go to hell. I don't care that my kicker was late.
The circumstances that at least people will whisper about around that are legendary and something for
Going to practice drunk.
Oh, well, I didn't hear that part.
Absolutely happened. Yeah.
I never heard that. Now that's new.
Absolutely.
No, about like the incentives and stuff, just like everything that surrounded that trip to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I
think there were real palpable fears that
yeah,
this could go awry.
he had a task force.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like you hear about Des Bryant had a task force, and the Cowboys were like, all right, we're going to commit people to make sure that he's going to be in a position where he can make good choices. Yeah, they tried that.
John Gruden once said about Sebastian Janikowski, thank God for Raiders fans, they listened to Al Davis instead of me. I'll admit it. Al was right. He did not want, as most rational people wouldn't, for the organization to draft a kicker in the first round, no matter how prolific Mr. Janikowski was here at Florida State. He was only in his third season as a coach there in Oakland, and he was looking at drafting Sean Alexander instead, who went on to become an MVP.
Yeah, probably would have been a better pick.
Well,
yeah, yes, it would have.
It would have been
you
a
take
better
5 or 6 years of Sean Alexander versus 18
I think
of Janikowski.
I think you're right, but the fact that there's even a pause for a millisecond shows you how prolific and badass that guy was for almost 20 years in professional football. It's insane. Plus, we'll always find a place in our heart for him because of the kick made down in Gainesville in the swamp that he had to re-kick, only to give them a shot, the Gator chomp before doing it again from further distance with the game on the line. Not afraid.
No, he doesn't fear death, so to speak.
No.
You know, it's like Tropic Thunder when Ben Stiller rolls out of the patties and he's shooting into the air.
Yeah.
And he does not fear death.
But as it stands now, I mean, he had once said, by the way, that, until they kick me out of the league, I'm going to keep on kicking. Now, on Thursday, Janikowski's contract advisor, Paul Healy, said the kicker intends to keep playing. Quote, he's too young to retire. He can still make kicks. He was just hurt last year. So, I mean, he's probably going to get signed. I don't think it'll be the end of his career. It always worked that he was a Raider, though. Like he didn't need to be anywhere else. It made sense that he was there.
It would have made more sense if he was there for the move to Las Vegas. That's just too bad.
Maybe that's another reason.
There could be.
They were like, we're going to go ahead and cut this off at the pass here. Yeah, we don't need to.
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah. Jeff Garrett, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
begins with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
During Aaron's anniversary this February, you're going to be blown away with 6 months same as cash. And this weekend only, during our President's Day event, we've got a daily mystery offer for you. For just $1 or $5 or $20, you can get started leasing to own furniture, electronics, and appliances with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. Visit a participating Aaron's store or Aaron's.com this Thursday through Monday to discover the daily mystery offer. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for Aaron's store or Aaron's.com this Thursday through Monday to discover the daily mystery.
Its job. That's not cool. Time to see the Home Depot. Right now, you can save up to 35% on appliance special buys, like the reliable Samsung side-by-side refrigerator in stainless steel or black stainless steel for just $998. So start fresh and save big with up to 35% off appliances. Now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only while supplies last. See store for details. Valid through February 28th.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo left the team's spring training camp and returned to his home in South Florida. Rizzo is an alum of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. A former student allegedly killed at least 17 people at that school yesterday. Rizzo will remain in Florida for services this weekend and then return to Cubs spring training. Light night in the NBA, just 2 games on the slate before the All-Star break. Rockets go into the break atop the West for the first time in franchise history with a half-game lead on the Warriors. Houston is the first NBA team built to beat Golden State in the postseason and will be a handful for the defending champs, according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They have long, athletic wing players. They have guys who can shoot at 4 positions. They have terrific switching ability. They have multiple ball handlers so that if James Harden goes off the court, they have Chris Paul there. They are as deadly of a team the Warriors would have faced.
Our Brian Windhorst.
You know when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's a big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
On ESPN Radio, as I mentioned, another reminder, tomorrow, crux of the show will be my long-form interview with Mike Martin Jr. as we look ahead to Florida State baseball. Welcome back, Florida State baseball. Our trek over to Dick Howser Stadium is always one that leaves a smile on the face, man, as I know I'm getting ready to walk into a place that I hold in such high regard, and do so this year, Tom, with the knowledge that I could buy a quality beer, not a crappy one, but a quality beer.
That's right.
Quality craft beer.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have to buy a sorry-ass Yuengling.
Well, I agree with that one. But, if there are any other major beer manufacturers that want to, an endorsement, then they're all quality beers. Having said that, I understand what you're talking about with local craft brews.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I like them too.
It's a double talk.
Yeah. Well, I needed to pause before I saw the growing concern on your face.
Well,
as I
you
was
never
about
know
to
who's
alienate
calling,
But that's
Yuengling, though, I totally agree. My goodness.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
My goodness.
Well, I mean, what are we doing, right?
Give me a Busch Light, please.
Anyhow, the core of why I love being over at Dick Howser Stadium certainly has nothing to do with beer, because by and large, we've never been able to buy one over there, and I have thoroughly enjoyed the games and the time spent at lovely Dick Howser Stadium. Admittedly, I'm very excited. I have yet to drive by the stadium since they erected the massive scoreboard screen there, the big digital screen. Yeah,
I saw a couple of notes today from Corey Clark, who was out there.
Posted. I saw that we have the 40 straight seasons of 40 wins and all the different platitudes that have occurred. Well, I've always thought we don't champion that enough. Yes.
Well, yeah. So the banners in the right field wall, the fence wall, have been completely redone. And then apparently, we'll see if they allow for this, because I know they're a little dicey about advanced stats and even basic ones too.
What? They're going to put advanced stats?
No. But they might give us an actual gun, a speed. Talking about pitch velocity, radar gun on the big scoreboard. How about that?
That'd be nice. I mean, I've never clamored for it, but okay.
Oh, I'd like to know whether or not my guy has college fastball speed or, fastball speed.
I never trust him.
Really?
I always think that the hometown team kind of...
Well, even if it's a tick higher,
they juice him up a little bit.
Well, they don't change him for the away pitcher, and he's throwing 92 like our starter, and it's 88, 95.
I would change them. I would cheat. If I had one of those things, I'd have the guy that rolls in, whatever he is heralded as being, and I'd let him throw as hard as he could. And even if we knew him to throw 95, I'd post 74. And then when we throw somebody, maybe a crafty lefty, who can only get it up there around 86, it would always read no slower than 93.
That sounds like something Putin would do.
Yeah. Well, I would do it. I would absolutely do it. No, Putin does way worse. I would just change miles per hour on the radar gun of a baseball game.
Well, I'm not saying that's it. I'm just, look at these weaklings. They cannot throw the fastball.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they paint locker rooms pink at Iowa and things like that for the visiting team. Oh, I'm affecting you. It's psychological warfare, Tom. We're going out of here trying to win some
78.
games. Yeah, always. No matter guy would blow out his arm trying to throw 100, I'd be like 78.
Puck from Florida comes up, it's like 78 mile an hour fastball.
Best they can do, huh? My goodness.
Man, our bats are behind it just because we're not used to seeing it so slow.
Used to seeing these children tossed. I would. I would have messed with it. I don't need that. I need all the other things. I need them to fix the antiquated aspects of the stadium, and I need them to provide, as they are this year, quality craft beer. These are all things that I care much more about than the radar guns, Tom.
Well, what are they looking for over there? I think it's $40 or $50 million as part of the campaign to completely renovate Howser. I saw that in the offseason, so that's why it doesn't stick with me. And we're still technically in the offseason for one more day.
Just one more day, baby. That's all.
Plus 15 minutes or so from now. But I think it's $40 or $50 million they were looking to raise for that particular project. So, hey, man, if you want to see that too and you go to the ballpark tomorrow, find out from the local rep there that's out there by the concessions how you can do it.
I think if you're one of the kids on this team, what a cool situation you're in. There's no getting around the fact that you're going to be on the team. You're going to be on the field as it happens, as Mike Martin surpasses Augie Garrido as the winningest coach in college baseball history. And I think if I were a player, that fact would not be lost on me. I think I might even be overwhelmed by the idea of that. But when you're a kid, you don't think that way, so it's probably good. They won't be having that hang over their head necessarily. That's what the 46-year-old man does with the benefit of perspective and time, right? But you're a kid, you just figure one of many milestones you're going to be a part of, right? But it is a big deal, and that is going to happen this year at Howser. And I get it. I know the immediate detractor says, well, but he doesn't have a national title. Fine, go ahead. You can yell that from the mountaintops. You do anyhow. I'm going to enjoy as we build to this and watch it and surpass the number and know that that's a part of this school now, a bigger part of the university, because here's the deal. People aren't coaching that long anymore.
Right.
it's going to be here.
I mean, if you want to do that, skip the ceremony. It's pretty simple.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But 40 years
Yeah,
of 40,
protest for whatever reason.
40 consecutive seasons of 40 wins. I mean, listen.
Pretty damn amazing.
In a world where you're not satisfied, you know, just for a moment, recognize how insane that is.
Yeah, well, and it's just something, again, it's a hell of an accomplishment. I'm not going to prattle on about it forever. We got 32 wins to get to before that happens, but it is something to note the day before we set foot in that stadium that that's also going to happen this year, and it's only 32 wins, so they're going to get that by virtue of the 40 straight 40-win seasons. We know they're going to get that.
It looked dicey that we weren't even going to be able to get that done this year when we were about 2/3 of the way through or halfway through last season.
Nothing short of amazing, the turnaround at the second half of last year's season. They were in a dark place. They weren't playing well in addition to being hurt, really hurt. And so those two factors led to a team that was barely over 500. Certainly I criticized them almost on a daily, certainly weekly basis. And I think a lot of that criticism I would not back down from. That was absolutely legitimate, as were some of the problems with injuries. I mean, those were legitimate problems that led to some losses as well. But they're good now. When you look at the roster, you look at the team that they're bringing back intact, a lot of key components that led to that second half comeback and led to the victories that saw them win the ACC tournament and go through the regionals and make their way back to Omaha and finishing 6th in the country. And it starts first and foremost with the fact that you got your starting rotation back, and all of those guys are stronger, all those guys are better, all those guys now have been through the grind and been through some really critical situations where the pressure is at its peak. And they came out smelling like roses by and large. So I would think that we're going to see real quality staff here. You got 4 deep of guys that can start on the weekend. Now, initially, obviously, Holton tomorrow, Sands on Saturday, Parrish on Sunday, with Karp waiting in the wings for the midday start. But Karp's a guy that I think they believe can compete to try to get into the weekend rotation. And that's what you want. Ultimately, you'd love 4 or 5 guys competing to make up the weekend rotation. Competition only makes you better. We'll ask Mike about Kobe Johnson, a guy that, frankly, I don't know that you can count on for any innings, let alone a guy that would fight for any sort of time in the rotation. But maybe if he gets healthy, gets right, and can be a factor maybe out of the bullpen at some point, because stuff was never the question, but health has been. You'll have something there. But I'm really eager to see all the new kids they brought in and that you'll see largely coming out of the bullpen, because this was a really good recruiting class with a lot of talent, some big kids that can bring it, some big-armed kids, 6'4", 6'3" kids that throw 93, 94. That's exciting.
For me, yes, I look forward to all of these, and as we get into conference play, especially on the weekends, you'll be able to see a little bit more of a battle test for some of these arms, and
sure,
whether or not they can handle the bigger moments. And they're going to fail, and then they're going to succeed. You know what I mean? That's the normal course
ebbs and flows of a
young
baseball
player.
season, yeah.
But tomorrow's not about that for me. It's about walking around the ballpark, laughing,
on campus and smiling,
seeing some people that you only see during baseball season, and then looking
what do
around,
we got,
man.
By the way, Weather Window T. Lizzie, I need you here. Can you reach out to our friend who is going to put it on lockdown? And it's always good for the sporting guys or gals that also note what the weather is. Not for college baseball. I haven't sunk that low. Big Daddy J has yet to venture down that path.
For baseball?
College baseball.
Big Daddy J on college baseball?
Yeah, we're not doing that. It exists, I'm sure. I mean, I could find somebody. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy J's not doing that. But Big Daddy J will venture into Major League Baseball this year on the regular.
Okay, so tomorrow, right around first pitch, we're looking at a temperature in the mid-70s and minimal chance of any precipitation, sir.
What are we doing here, baby?
That's it. The white noise of the crowd, the blue sky.
Smells of the ballpark.
That's right.
Food's always average over there.
It's ballpark food.
Not even good ballpark food.
Oh, geez.
If we're detracting from an area of the experience, I have to be fair and note that while it is by and large exhilarating, fun, and something I largely embrace, I can also note that there are some things that could be improved, and that would be one of them.
Yeah, but you can walk up to the press box.
Oh, I know.
And grab some press meal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Impossible.
No, I'm just saying, everything's not roses. You got to keep on pushing, Tom.
On opening day, everything is roses.
Well, I won't bring this up tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm just bringing it up now. I'm just got to push.
How many games are you going to catch this weekend?
Push.
Is the one tomorrow, or are you going to try and get
I'm definitely catching tomorrow's, and I hope to stumble into I don't mean anything by that. I hope to go into Sunday's game. We'll see. Very busy time. We got the game against Pitt in basketball, and we're at the the end of the season there. But that's not. It feels like that's a foregone conclusion. Maybe I shouldn't think that way, but I kind of do. And then secondarily, my son Bryce is playing baseball basketball now. He's got to practice over the weekend. So we'll see. Guaranteed 1, maybe 2.
Okay.
Probably 2 on opening weekend.
I was just wondering when you were going to get Bryce out to the park with the official scorecards and all that kind of stuff.
Well, if that happens, it's going to be on Sunday. Sunday
nice.
would be the day. Yeah, you're going to be trudging about Disney World, which is not as nice.
I'll be at Magic Kingdom. I look forward to the time with my family. That's true.
I'll be at Magic Kingdom. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, I got 4 nieces and nephews who they're going to have wonder in their eyes.
That's right. Live vicariously
and
through them, buddy.
It's for my folks' 70th birthdays.
That's right. That's
so
what you do.
They always took us, so it's time we take them, and they love it.
When you're standing in that line, you remind yourself of all of those factors.
We have fast passed the bleep out of our situation at Magic Kingdom, so we won't be waiting too much.
That's good. As you are dealing with the folks that also attend the Magic Kingdom, make sure you remind yourself of the magic in the air, of the birthday.
I long for foreigners. I'm like, at least I could fit in the line with you.
I do know that at some point I will, just to be snarky, send you a text of beautiful Dick Howser Stadium as we're in attendance while you're maybe waiting to jump on Space Mountain.
No. Ric Flair. That's just too good.
Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
It is the biggest stage in all of stock car racing.
Kicks off a new season with the Great American Race.
Something that's on every single driver's bucket list.
The 60th running of the Daytona 500.
Chase Elliott tries to go for the lead. Larson throws the block. Oh, and he gets snookered.
Exchanging haymakers at the front of the field. Sunday at 1:30.
They're 3 wide behind them.
On the Motor Racing Network.
Daytona 500, brought to you locally by Lisa's Paint and Body. Locally owned and operated since 2002. License number MV46050.
Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Milwaukee and Cornerstone are nothing but heavy duty. It's back. The M18 Fuel Trade-In promo with an instant $100 off almost all Milwaukee M18 kits. M18 Impact Hammer Drill Kit, normally $419, now only $319 with your choice of specific bare tools. Bring in your old Milwaukee tool and Cornerstone will get you a brand new one. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. Big store pricing with local service. 1110 Stuckey Avenue and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95. Plus, get a $10 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate and earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Protect your engine with Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Looking for new furniture or mattresses? Call Tallahassee Furniture Direct today at 545-7112. Brand new furniture and mattresses at ridiculously low prices. Mattress sets less than $200. Bedroom sets less than $400. Living room sets less than $600. And complete apartment packages 50% below retail. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112. Quality furniture, low prices. Delivery is available. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112.
During Aaron's anniversary this February, you're going to be blown away with 6 months same as cash. And this weekend only during our President's Day event, we've got a daily mystery offer for you. For just $1 or $5 or $20, you can get started leasing to own furniture, electronics, and appliances with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. Visit a participating Aaron's store or Aaron's.com this Thursday through Monday to discover the daily mystery offer. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo left the team's spring training camp and returned to his home in South Florida. Rizzo is an alum of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. A former student allegedly killed at least 17 people at that school yesterday. Rizzo will remain in Florida for services this weekend and then return to Cubs spring training. Light night in the NBA, just 2 games on the slate before the All-Star break. Rockets go into the break atop the West for the first time in franchise history with a half-game lead on the Warriors. Houston is the first NBA team built to beat Golden State in the postseason and will be a handful for the defending champs, according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They have long, athletic wing players. They have guys who can shoot at 4 positions. They have terrific switching ability. They have multiple ball handlers so that if James Harden goes off the court, they have Chris Paul there. They are as deadly of a team the Warriors would have faced.
Our Brian Windhorst.
You know, when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's a big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Florida State basketball will lead the way. We'll get to it momentarily. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. But sometimes you do, and when that happens, we've got you covered all 3 hours. It's going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. That is upon the conclusion of the show, so anything you missed, you catch up there. You can also catch up on the WTSM app. Email us if you want, jcs@979espnradio.com. Watch us on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. And you can also watch us on Twitter. My handle's @JCameronShow. You won't be able to watch me there, but you will be able to if you follow the @979 ESPN Radio Twitter feed. There's where we periscope. Florida State played a terrible first half last night, came out kind of flat, and you began to get very, very concerned as this game went on. In fact, at one point, we were, 9 of 21 from the field, 2 of 10 from beyond the arc. The struggles were such that I began to grow very concerned momentarily about the potential for a blowout loss. And at that point, you would have said that the program had moved into a place of absolute free fall, and it would have been tough to come back from. But, of course, they did reach down deep. They fire back, and you have to give credit to the coaching staff for their adjustments, but also the players. A lot of guys, if you think about individually, Terrence Mann had 8 points as part of that 10-0 run. MJ Walker had 7 points in that big run. PJ Savoy, 5 of 6 free throws after being fouled twice on 3-point shots. Brian Angola had a layup there. Phil Kofer, by the way, in 15 minutes of play that first half had no points. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what do we do here? CJ Walker also struggling then. And I guess you just hope that they would recognize the depth, the magnitude of the situation, if you will. And yet the second half starts out more of the same as this thing gets stretched to 18 points, 49-31, 18 minutes to play. One could argue that in that snapshot of time, your season was on the line, and Florida State answered the bell big time. Changed what they were doing, began to trap, began to pressure, forced Clemson into some turnovers, changed the pace of the game, changed the way the momentum played out, and got us back into contention. A 17-2 run moves a deficit of 18 to 51 to 48, and all of a sudden you believe there was an opportunity to win this basketball game, but there was more fight. Again, you think about Clemson, and you give them an awful lot of credit too. It's 66-59 with 4:32 to play. FSU comes back with a big three to make it 66-62. That was Kofer's three that you alluded to last hour, Tom. He hit another big shot there on the baseline jumper to cut it to 2 with $1:16 to play. A lot of guys contributed. Trent Forrest with a huge game, but different guys at different times all played a role, including several of the guys that struggled in the first half. So this was a gut check. And Clemson, really, I think on a day where, you're worried about a player and his health, he had to stay behind in the hospital, did the Mitchell kid with the head injury, and obviously good to report he's okay, or it seems like he will be okay anyhow.
Man, that was scary.
It was scary. That was kind of weird, too. It didn't look that bad when you first saw it, but then obviously seeing the way he reacted.
Well, seeing Terrence yelling for the bench, like, hey, come on, this isn't,
Yeah, they were a little worried, obviously, pretty quickly. You must have heard and seen some things that concern them greatly, obviously. But if you think, and by the way, he's doing well. One thing to note is that Clemson had only committed, as you know, 3 fouls in the entire second half, so they had 3 fouls to give. And if you foul an FSU player who has the ball before we get off a shot, maybe we don't have enough time to even set up a decent look at the tying basket, but they don't do that. And because they didn't, then you get the Forrest basket, the improbable Forrest basket, really tough angle and everything else to tie the game. Man, if this were, us doing a show up there about a game, we would have to say that was a terrible blunder. I mean, that was a bad mistake by Clemson. But either way, it happened, and Florida State took advantage of it and was able to get the game-tying basket. And then, I'll be honest with you, Tom, when we went into the extra period, the overtime, I thought that Florida State, by virtue of having climbed all the way back up that mountain, would have all of the momentum. And really, I thought maybe just kind of boat race. Remember in the Miami game when we got it to overtime and then just went on a quick 9-0 or whatever it was, and you're like, get the hell up out of here. It's over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought something similar would happen here because Clemson had, maybe in the mind of a Clemson player and coaching staff, they had squandered a huge opportunity, and Florida State had fought and fought and fought and fought. and found a way to tie it up, to force the overtime, and had all the momentum in the world. And yet there it sits, 74-70, just like that for Clemson, and the frustration mounts. I mean, there's 2:10 left after that. We had missed 4 shots. We had committed a turnover. We hadn't played well. And I'm thinking, man, I don't know what we're going to have to do to get this win. But it happened. And C.J. Walker at the big 3. And, you end up coming back to get within 1, I think, at that point, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, we know what happened. But, Trent Forrest, big free throws, you name it. It was a huge win.
Well, the 17-2 run brings the building back to life, because even though you had a mini run to get it within a couple of possessions in the first half, that's quickly stomped out. And then the second half, with 18 minutes to play, you're down 18 points. But you go on this run where defense generates easy offense. And there's nothing better for picking a building up or waking a building up.
Scoring in transition, baby.
Yes. Live ball turnovers lead to easy baskets, and they see the margin shrinking and shrinking.
They lead to dunks and acrobatic layups.
Right.
They're not just baskets, they're fun.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that, you latch on to that energy.
There's a possession where we're in transition in the second half. I forget exactly the moment, but there's 3 or 4 passes for an easy basket, and I don't know that we dribbled once getting up the court from the timeline.
Ball never hit the floor.
Yeah. Those are the types of things, man, that you just never really saw in the old iteration of this program under Leonard, where we did win an ACC tournament title and we did go to the Sweet 16. It's a completely different look and feel to it. So when we're mounting the comeback, it's not just about the good defense, which we needed sorely in that moment, and that is a hallmark of the old days, but it's what it leads to. And that gave the building some life, which I think made a big difference, because the mental errors that Clemson makes down the stretch, I don't think they make in an empty gym.
Well, no, and I think, again, the decision at the 18-minute mark there in the second half to really up the ante, put pressure, begin to trap, do things to force tempo, change the way the game's being played, obviously helped facilitate the mistakes that Clemson made and put game pressure on them, as I said earlier. And you got to go through, by the way, and look at what this win means and talk about the individuals. Phil Kofer, good on you, young man. I mean, 17 points, all of those points coming in the second half. Big shot after big shot when they had to have it. Several times you were at that point where you're thinking it. You may not say it aloud, but, man, if we don't get a basket on this possession, this game may be lost. And then Kofer would hit that basket, whether that was the baseline shot or the 3 or whatever. You saw it and you went, oh, all right, that's 8 of 11 shooting in the second half for him. 5 boards in 37 minutes for the game. 17 points total for the game. But all those points coming in the second half turned out to be huge. Terrence Mann had 13 points, 8 of those in the first half, but 4 of 6 shooting. 8 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Looked a little bit more like the Terrence Mann. He hasn't been completely healthy, and you still see signs of that from time to time, but looked a little bit better. Also noting that Forrest, as I said before, what a game for him. Trent Forrest, 16 points, 7 of 11 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Huge free throws, I might add. A rebound, 4 assists, a block, a steal in 31 minutes off the bench.
Yeah, there's a possession in the latter part of the first half where Terrence is on the ball defending, and you can see him, his leg is starting to give out underneath him a little bit. And he finally hit the fatigue point for the first half. He's defending the half court near the key, top of the key. And I thought, all right, well, let's see what you got in the second half. Can we get to the break? And he had enough. But for me, now you got this win, this huge win that you had to have in such a dramatic way, which has been our way in wins and losses for most of this year. I mean, we stomped Florida pretty good down in their building, but a lot of our key wins and losses, North Carolina, Louisville, Wake Forest, Virginia at home, and now last night, Miami at home, they've been in dramatic fashion one way or the other. Get through this thing on Sunday, and then hopefully Angola's health comes back to a place where he can give you more consistency on the offensive side of the ball. Because if then he gets back into the fold, you're giving yourself a wonderful chance at stealing 1 of 2 on the road, either at NC
winning
State
3 of the
or
last
at Clemson.
4 would be a hell of a thing, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden there, you're sitting with a winning record in the ACC and not just shooting for 500. We know the 500 marker gets you in. We do think, certainly with Florida State's quality wins, 6 top 50 RPI wins now after last night's victory. By the way, just got a text from somebody who would know, saying the good news is that Mitchell, the young man for Clemson who was hurt, checked out just fine. He flew back to Clemson this morning around 11 a.m. So
that is good to hear.
Yeah, really good.
He was down for a long time, and he should probably have not even gotten back up to his feet.
He looked dangerous. So
yes,
but the play itself was innocuous, and then you watch it over and over. And I thought, I don't know. I've seen people get hurt way worse. Yeah.
And if you can be insensitive in the moment, I was being insensitive. Where I hope the kid is okay. Now,
can we get on with the game here?
Well, no. I wasn't going that far. Now that's a little much.
But you'll do that with an ankle injury.
Yes.
Not an
injury to the head where he's dizzy. No. But where the broadcast team, because again, I didn't go last night. I'm still not feeling well enough to go to a basketball game or anything. Hopefully tomorrow by Hauser. But they're talking about, well, are they going to look at the monitors here for a flagrant? No, we're not. That's a block.
They kept saying that.
That's a block.
What
fellas.
in the world? What are you talking
about? That's a clean over the head block.
That's a get you some block.
And if his head gets in the way, his head gets in the way. And then Wes Durham gets confused because he thinks there might have been a foul called on the play, and that there might be a common foul, a couple of shots. No, sir. There is no foul on the play, but college basketball officiating is such that when we were at Cameron Indoor, there was a flagrant called on us out of a media timeout when there was actually a whistle on Duke.
Which was nuts, yeah.
And as crazy as that game was, you didn't want to see a crazy finish and then our hearts be ripped out after all the work we did in the second half and in overtime. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, and thankfully the young man is okay, which is, again, the most important thing. But I was a little insensitive at the moment saying, that's a basketball play. That's not a foul.
You can cue the Mike Martin clip of what you're talking about, Mary Beth, because it was
So what are you talking about, Mary Beth? Don't go playing jokes.
Yeah. Because I thought it when they were talking about going to, because I had just finished the golf show.
Well, is this going to be a flagrant or a common foul?
What are we doing here?
Wait, those are our two options?
No, what are we? How about no foul, man?
So what are you talking about, Mary Beth? Don't go playing jokes.
Given that tomorrow is the day that baseball begins and we're all in that mode, then it's nice to play that. The win moves Florida State back to 7-7 of the ACC, tied for ninth with winnable home games, obviously, as I've mentioned before, against Pitt this Sunday. Pitt, somebody asked me, I think it was on Twitter, might have been in the email, why do you just keep assuming a win against Pitt? Okay, look, man, Pitt is 0-14 in the conference. Do I need to expound on that? I mean, could we lose? Well, yes, in theory we could lose to Pitt. But if you're asking why do I keep assuming a win over Pitt? Because they're 8-19, they've lost 14 straight games, they have an RPI of 189, they suck. That's why.
Yeah, if you lose to Pitt, it's not because you didn't do anything. It's because you did a lot to hurt yourself. I mean, a lot. It's kind of like we were talking about football season at the end of it. You know, this Florida team we're playing the week after Thanksgiving, this is a different kind of bad. I get we're both bad, and I know what the records say, but, you know, they're similar. Florida's a different kind of bad when we go down there and play them at noon on Saturday.
Yeah,
same thing here.
That conversation, yeah.
It's a different kind of bad here.
Well, and here's the thing with Pitt and really also us, given the factor of this last game and just the ailments, you know, I would argue it could be a decent game for a half. Pitt's done that several times this year where the games are somewhat close going into the second half. So I do warn you that if you're rolling on into the TLC Double C Sunday, don't think that you're sitting there 50-20 at half.
Correct.
I mean, it is still a team that's going to come out and compete, and we are still a team probably nursing some injuries, and it could be that you look past a team that's 0-14 in the ACC until they get your attention.
We haven't been the greatest at that. We started out good about that in non-conference play, but there have been slip-ups of concentration, so yeah.
It could happen.
But you'd have to do so much more than just like, you know,
right.
dilly-dally for the first 8-12 minutes of this game.
Which I actually suspect they are going to do.
You'd have to turn the ball over 25 times. You know what I mean?
Don't
Something
throw that
crazy
into the air, man. Let's just leave all that alone here. Let's go out and execute. We're talking about a business-like performance, Tom, just a very business-like performance. We've got a job to do on Sunday. I actually want them to be somewhat devoid of emotion. Just do your damn job. Let's try to execute and get this week off. Get this week off and be done with it, baby.
That's the carrot to dangle, is it not?
That's the whole thing. You got a week off after this. So don't screwing this up. Go in there and get a win. Let's keep momentum. Let's keep things rolling. Anyhow, the point is this. What am I talking about? Pitt, and we should aid them in this endeavor, is trying to chase down the recent 2016 Boston College season for the ages, which was the worst season in ACC history. BC went 0-19, as you recall, which also included, of course,
an ACC tournament exit,
which, you know, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, I mean, look.
That was after their football team went 0 for the conference.
Well, yeah, it was 0 for across the board.
I think that was the first time in history. They made a big deal about that fall into spring semesters where you don't win a single football or basketball.
Well, and I also remember thinking,
conference game.
We're going to have to tell BC to have a good day. We can't have this out here. You guys looking like buffoons. You got to go.
Looks like they did okay in the bean pot.
But then all of a sudden, there they are, the Fighting Adagios, whooping our ass 35-3.
Jeez.
Just those facilities were too much to overcome. It's Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
O'Reilly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95. Plus, get a $10 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate and earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Protect your engine with Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Chili's wants to know, when was the last time you had a great lunch?
When was the last time you had a great lunch?
Oh, and we're singing too.
We go way back, baby, back with our singing.
Yeah, we do, but lunch is our thing too.
We've got 10 lunches for just $7.
Burgers, quesadillas, just $7 for lunch.
Just $7 for 10 awesome lunches.
It's even better when you say it that way.
It's pretty much the same thing, but I flipped it. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
With lunch for $7.
Or take Chili's lunch to go, baby, go, baby, go.
Available at participating restaurants only. Prices may vary in Hawaii, not available in Alaska and Canada.
Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Swept away whenever this song comes on. I feel like, let's just listen to this song. We don't really need to talk sports for a moment. We can all relax together. Man, tomorrow's baseball has me so giddy. I feel like we should just have a big group party together. You know how we used to talk about having a deck party for all the listeners at our old place of employment? Well, no, this place of employment, but our old establishment where the actual place no longer stands, unfortunately. I hadn't gone by there in a long time, and I had a meeting this week at the University Center Club over at FSU, and on my way over to that lunch date, if you will, Tom, I actually decided to deviate and go over to the All Saints District. I love the All Saints District. I like weird. I want more weird at all times. I want railroad in that whole area that just kind of separates Florida State and Florida A&M University. I want those areas to join with a bunch of crazy weird art and all the music and beer that one could find and all that. So I decided I'm going to engage again, and I took a left, and I went down that road, and I was sad to see the spot where that ancient-ass house was that we used to broadcast from, and it's vacant. It just sits there. There was character to that place. Now, I wouldn't want to still be broadcasting from there because the house itself was decrepit, and at times I thought we might be dying every day we were there.
We might still. It might be irreparable damage.
Probably.
Yeah, should probably look into that. But it looks smaller now, doesn't it? The lot, it looks so tiny.
Well, yeah, without the house.
Yeah, I couldn't believe there was, a house there. If we had a deck, though, as a listener party, like a deck party for listeners, I should say, I think would have collapsed. That thing would have collapsed. It was already, the tilting was changing.
But that wasn't a deck. That was a place for two people to stand and be attacked by bees.
Right.
I'm saying
just carpenter bees.
They were just carpenter bees, which I grew to like. I even named them.
Yeah. You did?
Yeah. But they would, they would always be, look at me. I can't sting you. But I'm going to pretend like I could do something. Don't you fear me? And I would sit and go, nope, don't fear you. And then it's unsettling to them because they're like, ooh, I'm gonna come by and get closer to you now. You don't seem to be fearful of me.
That sounds like that guy who used to come by the pregame shows over on Langford.
Who would get mad at me?
Yeah. Yeah, but he'd wait till the show was over. He knew when the pregame show was on, but then he'd walk by.
How many? I didn't know that he came more than once. He came more than once?
Oh, at least 6 or 7 times over the years.
Wait till I was gone?
Where's Cameron?
Oh,
he's a coward. Sir, we broadcast between 4 and 2 hours before kickoff every time.
Exactly where.
So no, nothing, sir.
No, but the bee was stronger than that gentleman. He had heart, unlike that loser. The bee was just, I can't sting. I've got to at least pretend like I got something. I'm bringing something to the table. That's the bee sound. He'd get real close to you, and you'd be like, I'm not moving. I wonder if he went back into the house and would be like, guys, that dude isn't buying
nothing.
it. He's just not buying it.
I gave him the triple word.
He knows that I don't have nothing. I bring nothing to the table. I got no dukes. He knows it. I got it. That's it. That's the best I can do. What are we doing? What's wrong with us? Why don't we have stingers? All of our friends. Your Aunt Mary has a stinger. Yeah, so it was weird that that became like a thing. We would sit out there as the weather changed, just as we did when football season would begin, because you'd get to hear the band, and I love hearing the bands, plural. Both universities would have their bands out, and you could listen to that off in the distance. It reminded me of high school football when the band would be playing as we were getting ready to start practice.
Echo off the trees in the buildings.
Oh, the best. Same for baseball, man. These are all the things that are near and dear to my heart about baseball is, the sights, the sounds, the smells, and all that. But being in that area right before baseball, people tailgating, having a good time, people going over to Gordo's on Pensacola Street, as I used to do way back when, and then walk your way over to Hauser.
On the deck.
Oh, good times.
There you go.
That's right. On the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
Boy, we need to go back, don't we?
We do. We need to find our way back. Actually, those were funny times. I remember seeing a lot of funny things happen there.
You mean recent years for baseball season?
No. Many moons
late
ago.
90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Just always involved certain people falling. You would just see people fall. They were very excited about the return of baseball, Tom, and they were misguided, or they wouldn't have their sea legs about them just yet because it's early in the year.
Yeah, right.
They haven't built up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And there would always be some early season falls.
Yep.
Not from me. No, not. And I mean this, not from me. Literally, I knew enough, but there were people. I'm like, man, maybe they live a more salubrious lifestyle the rest of the year, and they get caught up at the start of baseball season, and they don't properly.
You're welcoming the weather too, you know.
Oh, you're celebrating it all.
Yeah.
It used to be, and I got past it, and I think this might still bother people. I don't know if it still bothers you, but when people begin to come over to college baseball, if they were rooted, their fandom of the game was rooted in pro baseball. It is difficult because it is a different, obviously, caliber of game, but also it's played a little differently because of the aluminum bats, etc. But the sound of the aluminum bat is not the sound of a crack from a wooden bat, which is sacred. And it can be troubling. It can be difficult. But now I have so learned to separate the two for so long that I can have equal and opposite experiences of those sounds and have them mean something to me. So when I hear the ping tomorrow, and it's decidedly less pingy than it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the way that it used to be. Yeah, there's no more of those 20, you're not getting 22-17 baseball games anymore with a ting. No, it's better now. So that's helped a little bit. I've grown to enjoy even that sound. It's just different. It's just different.
For me, it's all about the white noise. And I know the animals make sure that you're into the game, and that's fine too. But it's about the white noise.
The chatter of the fans.
Yeah, you could just hear the crowd. I wish there was a white noise for that, because then I would put that on a 10-hour loop, and that would be my white noise for sleep. You use any white noise? Anything? Or you like dead? Yeah, silence. As close as you can get these days.
I'm very good at sleeping no matter the conditions. Have been for a long time. If I'm tired. Now, if I'm not all that tired and I know it's just time to go to bed and I'm going to be laying there with my thoughts and concerns and hopes and dreams and wishes and all that stuff that keep you up at night, a little fan action is all right for me.
I thought you don't like the fan, though.
I don't. I've grown to like it. My wife insists on the fan.
You've grown to like it.
You got no
choice. Progress report.
You got no choice. What are you going to do? She likes a fan. I'm not a big fan of the fan, but then the fan's on. I'm not going to tell her not to put it on, so,
We use the desk fan, like that one. And that's it. I'm okay with it.
There you go. It's all about what you can do.
I'm not lying to myself either. I'm actually okay with it.
Well, no, I had to get to that point. Now I think when it's on, I'm like, oh, well, that's pleasant. It's sleepy time. And I just go there and I'm okay. In the beginning, I was like,
I would prefer a white noise machine with the crowd sounds of a baseball game, though.
Yeah, or the beach. Or rain.
Yeah. Oh, I used to. I told you.
All day with the rain.
Before I moved out of the student ghetto, I had to have the headset on because
the student
terrible
rando. Yeah.
Leave her dog. Just barking. Would just be whining and barking all damn night. She'll be God knows where.
No, the rain is good stuff. Well, she was out drinking, Tom. I can tell you where she was.
Carousing.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years. Your vehicle vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Nestled in Midtown Tallahassee, you'll find a piece of old Ireland. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub. Locally owned and operated, Finnegan's Wake is the only pub in Tallahassee with an authentic Irish bar. Finnegan's Wake offers the largest selection of Irish whiskey in town and pours more Guinness than any bar or restaurant from Pensacola to Jacksonville. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m., Finnegan's offers live music from local and national acts, karaoke, and hospitality nights, and is Tallahassee's premier viewing location for all professional soccer leagues matches. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub, right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas. Come join us for a pint, a match, and more stories.
At Advance Auto Parts, we offer you the quality parts you want and knowledge you need. And we're always looking for ways to help you save. Right now at Advance, premium oil brands like Castrol, Mobil, Valvoline, and Pennzoil are all on sale. Choose 5 quarts and an oil filter starting as low as $23.99 for your oil change. Only at Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts stores. Advance Auto Parts, where oil is priced like it should be. See store for details. Limit 5 oil change specials per customer. Valvoline bottles may vary by store.
Chili's wants to know, when was the last time you had a great lunch?
When was the last time you had a great lunch?
Oh, and we're singing too.
We go way back, baby, back with our singing.
Yeah, we do, but lunch is our thing too.
We've got 10 lunches for just $7.
Burgers, quesadillas, just $7 for lunch.
Just $7 for 10 awesome lunches.
It's even better when you say it that way.
It's pretty much the same thing, but I flipped it. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
With lunch for $7.
Or take Chili's lunch to go, baby, go, baby, go.
Available at participating restaurants only. Prices may vary in Hawaii. Not available in Alaska and Canada.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
Escúchame, it is Dan Le Batard on ESPN Radio.
Might I suggest you tread lightly. Tom Brady's very clearly powerful, and only one other talent in this room had his name attached to Tom Brady in nasty headlines last week.
What happened with me and TMZ last week? What happened?
I saw a tweet from TMZ that was Dan Le Batard kind of sort of accuses Tom Brady of steroid use.
I did not do that. I did not do that.
Kind of, sort of.
No, just kind of, sort of. If TMZ reports something as kind of, sort of, you be discerning about that.
Right.
That's one of Dan's 2 moves. Move number 1 is FaceTiming his celebrity friends.
That's right.
And move number 2 is kind of, sort of, just asking the question.
Just asking the question.
He's on it.
Provocateur.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo left the team's spring training camp and returned to his home in South Florida. Rizzo is an alum of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. A former student allegedly killed at least 17 people at that school yesterday. Rizzo will remain in Florida for services this weekend and then return to Cubs spring training. Light night in the NBA, just 2 games on the slate before the All-Star break. Rockets go into the break atop the West for the first time in franchise history with a half-game lead on the Warriors. Houston is the first NBA team built to beat Golden State in the postseason and will be a handful for the defending champs, according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They have long, athletic wing players. They have guys who can shoot at 4 positions. They have terrific switching ability. They have multiple ball handlers so that if James Harden goes off the court, they have Chris Paul there. They is deadly of a team the Warriors would have faced.
Our Brian Windhorst.
You know, when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's a big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man, I'm running here scrambling, trying to get my baseball stuff ready. Still glowing over the basketball victory, following Tigers around. How's Tiger doing over there?
He is all done for today. He shot 1 over par opening round.
And given that, didn't he have a double?
He had a double on his second hole. He started on the back 9 today, and he had to re-tee because apparently his drive was lost in a tree. It didn't come back down to the ground.
That'll hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
So +1 at Riviera with a ball in a tree is a damn fine round.
It is. Actually, as of about 20 minutes ago, if he hits, the normal amount of shots on that hole, if he takes par instead of a double bogey, which is kind of what he earned with the re-tee, then he's at 1 under in the top 20 of the field. So, I mean, he's right there. This isn't an embarrassing first round for Tiger today.
Riviera is no joke.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a course.
And apparently this week, Faldo's been watching it. Obviously, they'll be covering it on CBS this weekend. Nick Faldo's analysis is he thinks a single-digit score is going to be the winning mark under par this week. Typically, it's been 10 under or better by the time you get through 4 days. But he says this year's course is playing quite difficult.
Tiger changed the shaft of his club and changed the degree of the loft on his driver.
Damn right.
Going into the tournament because of how many wayward drives he had last week or 2 weeks ago, obviously. But what's interesting about that, and I continue to learn from my friend Trey Jones at Florida State University, the head golf coach there. I don't pretend to know these things until I learn it from him and our many guests on that show, and I'm not saying that to promote the show, although if you're interested, it's the PGA Tour Network, Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock, Beyond the Tips. What are we on? 92? What channel am I on?
Yeah, you're on 280 and 92.
Yeah, so here's...
How do I know that?
Yeah, but here's the thing about it, though. Listen, honestly, it's a fun show to do because I do learn a lot, and I love the sport of golf, and I love watching and learning about the golfer's mentality and the coach's mentalities and the caddies and everything else because it's just infinitely fascinating, such a mind game, And one of the things that I thought was interesting is that there are 2 things you would think. First of all, making those changes as you lead into a tournament suggests you're still searching. You're still searching. But I also think it reveals quite a mindset and a different mindset than he used to have. And it shows a more realistic and willingness to take an approach that's different than what you would have done in the past because you're recognizing weakness. And it's okay to admit to it and seek to fix it, as opposed to just be headlong, I'm going to do it this way no matter what, and I'm all right. 2 things he said, and I played clips last night on the show from him as he was asked about the Genesis and what he thought, Genesis Open, by the way, what he thought. Not the Bible. Tiger, what do you think? Your thoughts on Genesis? Well, as a book, it's anyhow. So the point is,
God damn Eve.
He talked about expectations.
Takes Adam's rib and then swings a golf club at him, and
he says,
goes through his cell phone.
Basically, that listen, I'm just now getting back. It's been a while. I missed the better part of 2 years. I'm just attempting to compete and get to a place where I feel comfortable at that level. And that is so different from the Tiger Woods of yesteryear and the belief that you were there to win no matter what, and that was the only thing, and that tournament in, tournament out, if I'm in it, I expect to win it. He's couldn't be further removed from that guy. Oh, by the way, another aside. You know how last week, or was it earlier this week, I can't remember now, we were talking about Rory McIlroy's 5-putt?
Yeah, it was this week.
Okay, so what I think is interesting, and this is something learned again from a golf coach like Trey Jones, about golfers' mentality. I was kind of not teasing, but just saying, good Lord, man, a 5-putt. What do you make of that? Because we were assessing Tiger's attempt to come back, and can he get into the top 20 of the world again at some point? And can he compete at a major at some point here this year? And then Rory, after such a dreadful year of putting a year ago, he's trying to make his way back. His father was on the bag. It's a 5-putt, you get concerned, you begin. And he said, no, actually, that doesn't bother me at all. I actually like what it says. And I said, excuse me? What do you mean that you like it? My man, Trey, it was a 5-putt. He said, means he was trying to make it. And
a lot.
But the point,
try to make it 4 different times.
But the point would be that any pro could lag to ensure that they wouldn't 5-putt.
Sure.
He's trying to make the putt and remained aggressive the whole time. And when you do that and you miss, and it's not good to keep missing, but you're going to go 4 and 5, sometimes 6, 7 feet past the hole, and whoopsie, it could have a tougher putt coming back than you had going in. And but he thought it revealed a good mindset that at no point in that process did he decide, okay,
yeah,
I've missed the first 2. Let's lag this one up close and get out of here.
And he and Tiger, are playing again, obviously, the first 2 days, and he finished at even par to Tiger's 1 over today.
There you go. So
did Rory.
And you did also make mention, and it only matters to me, I suppose, that Jeff Ogilvy's still alive.
Jeff Ogilvy is still alive. I don't know where he ended up, but as I was watching Tiger's, scores, I really wasn't watching the round shot for shot, but he was tied at 1 over par with Jeff Ogilvy.
And you went, what the hell? There's a Jeff Ogilvy sighting.
Golf is alive.
Cruel, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want proof of it, look at Jeff Ogilvy and others who at one time are at the top of their sports. Remember when it was Hunter Mahan and others, that guys that you would routinely see on the weekend in contention that you never hear from anymore?
Buddy, first page of the leaderboard for different portions of today include Graham McDowell, who, that's not quite Jeff Ogilvy territory, but he's getting up there. And Aaron Baddeley had a double eagle earlier today on his front 9.
Aaron Baddeley could always putt, but then really every other facet of the game left him. That's a toughie.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a thing.
It's a big-ass field, though. They're playing all day long. There's 150-some-odd people out there this week at the Genesis. So
it's a hell of a course to be able to play. I think most would want to line up to get involved in that tournament. That is, I was envious as I interviewed the head coach at USC last night, who his team gets to play that course, and they get 3 memberships.
3 memberships?
3 memberships in a player's name, and they can change them out every semester. So they incentivize for the players.
Oh, wow.
You could be a member at Really?
Okay.
Well, that's a hell of a thing.
And that's NCAA allowed, huh?
I guess so.
Okay.
It's within
who's
the
writing these rule books? White collars. That's who's writing these rule books.
A little looser deal there, buddy. Yeah, that's a good deal. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Brought to you locally by Lisa's Paint and Body, locally owned and operated since 2002. License number MV46050.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Out on the golf course, there are the obvious hazards. There's the pond, the bunker, the rough, the even rougher.
Yeah, put me down for an 8.
The giant maples. The row of houses out of bounds on the right. The angry flock of geese who've surrounded your ball. Even the occasional groundskeeper you had no clue was there. But if you think you found every possible hazard out there, think again. The hazard you missed could actually be a killer. It's the spot on your skin, the one that could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Chili's wants to know, when was the last time you had a great lunch?
When was the last time you had a great lunch?
Oh, and we're singing too.
We go way back, baby, back with our singing.
Yeah, we do, but lunch is our thing too.
We've got 10 lunches for just $7.
Burgers, quesadillas, just $7 for lunch.
Just $7 for 10 awesome lunches.
It's even better when you say it that way.
It's pretty much the same thing, but I flipped it. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
With lunch for $7.
Or take Chili's lunch to go, baby, go, baby, go.
Available at participating restaurants only. Prices may vary in Hawaii. Not available in Alaska and Canada.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Let's segue this beauty, the song that is, to a little More watching, less washing, or less washing, more watching, however which way you like to say it. Doesn't matter. That all adds up to more time for you. Cue it up, big dog.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash around the clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
Woohoo! I think that's true. Wash around the clock. Our friends that save you time. Yes, they do, which time is money. TallahasseeLaundry.com. Go to that website. Look at the Wash Around the Clock website I'm referencing. Easy Laundry is the service you want. They do commercial, they do student, they do all that good stuff. But you got self-service, too, if you need to go do it yourself. Do it your damn self if you want.
I'm doing my laundry my damn self.
That's right. Pick up, deliver
That's not
at
what I
your
say.
home or office. No, I say I'm going to give it to the fine folks at Wash Around the Clock. They can come pick it up and bring it back over when we're done. That's right.
We do.
Ultimate convenience. Laundry, dry cleaning, pressing, all of it. It's good. Local business, man. And they've been around since 2004, kicking ass. It's a good thing. So I just bring in my laundry, and I put it in that red bag they give me, and I go, take it, clean it, and bring it back to me. And they do. It's awesome.
You're damn right we will, Mr. Cameron.
Oh, it's the bartender from the local.
Hey, Big Daddy.
So, hey, here's the thing. It is convenient, and it does save oodles and oodles of time, and that is precious. And I know that to be true because before I had the service, I spent a lot of my time when at the house doing laundry and folding laundry and putting laundry away and then doing another thing of laundry. Now I don't do that. Nope. I say, you go there, kids put that there, I'll take it tomorrow. They'll come pick it up at the office. I'll get it back a couple days later, and we're all set for the week. It's easy.
It's a beautiful thing right there.
It is a beautiful thing. Wash around the clock. TallahasseeLaundry.com to find out what I'm talking about. I endorse it because I love it and use it. Really quickly, speaking of which, this element, this fixed position feature, if you will, as they call it in the radio biz, what is it we're going to be watching? Well, baseball tomorrow at 4 o'clock, Dick Hauser Stadium. I'll be rolling on in with the rest of you. Should be a lot of fun. We'll have our interview with Mike Martin Jr. tomorrow, long form, leading up to the first pitch of that baseball game in the start of the season. The golf, we were just alluding to it at Riviera all this weekend. You got big basketball games in college, of course, throughout the weekend, always in hockey. So there's plenty to get to.
Yeah, Tiger tomorrow tees off at 3 o'clock if you want to watch for a happy hour. You know, if you want to find a little watering hole, enjoy your libations
Lead
Friday.
on up to it, right?
Catch the back nine of the round out at Riviera, but they start at 3 o'clock Eastern, so you'll have more than enough time. And then for me, it's just going to be, while I'm at Magic Kingdom, watching the box score of the Knowles Pitt game. I'm going to keep refreshing that and saying, just don't do what you're supposed to do.
Don't screw this up.
Don't screw this up. Let's just have a nice week of broadcast where we can talk about, hey, we got NC State, Clemson, and Boston College to close out the year. Give us a win out of that 3, and we are going to the dance.
Something to note, by the way, that I didn't talk about, and we've got a lot of next hour to be able to get right back into the basketball, but since you brought up the Knowles playing Pitt on Sunday, Florida State held Clemson last night to under a point per possession last night. So we hadn't been doing that defensively in ACC play. We'd given up, obviously, what we did to Notre Dame. But we did that against Louisville in our win there, and we did it again last night. I think Louisville's was 0.97. And last night we did it again. So maybe an uptick. We didn't quite do it against Virginia, 1.02, close.
Second half was, yeah.
Yeah, but we're getting better at it. I mean, the point is we've been so damn bad on defense.
Yeah, you get a healthy Angola back, and because he's a good defender. So it's not like, it's a shooter for a defender. But if you get him back healthy and he's able to contribute on both sides of the court with improved team defense.
Well, Terrence Mann's mobility, too. Yeah. So that's just one aspect that I didn't talk about and haven't talked about and probably really didn't plan on getting into next hour either. But it's true. We focus on how much better and efficient they were offensively in the second half. They played defense better, too, and that's a good thing, and that sparked all that transition. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
And get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJr.BuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
Brad Paisley, Weekend Warrior World Tour. Friday, March 9th, Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. With special guests Dustin Lynch and Chase Bryant. Tickets are on sale now. Online at TuckerCivicCenter.com. Brad Paisley. Tickets are on sale now.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9, happy hour drink specials, and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Now I know my ABCs.
What happened to the rest of the letters, Chris?
That's my fee, Miss Janet.
What are you talking about? What fee?
Just like when you're charged a sign-up fee on a personal loan.
Sign-up fees on the alphabet don't make sense. Neither do fees on personal loans. Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers no-fee personal loans for home renovations, major purchases, or managing credit card debt. Don't get feed. Visit Marcus.com.
Ooh, this burrito is delicious. Help me with my blindfold, friend. Where are we?
We're at Bandito's Burritos.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo left the team's spring training camp and returned to his home in South Florida. Rizzo is an alum of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. A former student allegedly killed at least 17 people at that school yesterday. Rizzo will remain in Florida for services this weekend and then return to Cubs spring training. Light night in the NBA, just 2 games on the slate before the All-Star break. Rockets go into the break atop the West for the first time in franchise history with a half-game lead on the Warriors. Houston is the first NBA team built to beat Golden State in the postseason and will be a handful for the defending champs, according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They have long, athletic wing players. They have guys who can shoot at 4 positions. They have terrific switching ability. They have multiple ball handlers so that if James Harden goes off the court, they have Chris Paul there. They are as deadly of a team the Warriors would have faced.
Our Brian Windhorst.
You know when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's a big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least 4 today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free, always. Miss nothing, but hey, sometimes you miss something. Therefore, we got all 3 hours waiting on you. Upon the conclusion of the show, we post it both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Woohoo! We're in a good mood today, kids. Oh, yeah. Well, Florida State baseball tomorrow. Good times. Big win last night. Email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. We get back as best we can. Well, not really. I don't email you back, but I address these emails as they come in, and they get forwarded to me, and they say, hey, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He sent you something. Or this gal. She sent you something. And we read them, and eventually I get through all of them, and I do appreciate it. Used to be that I'd get like an email a day, and I could respond to each and every one of them. We don't do that anymore.
No,
not doing it. But the best get filtered through, and
they make it through the channels.
Hey, I got to tell you something that made me laugh last night. We'll get into the basketball. We've talked about it all day. It's exciting, and I'm really I never tire of talking about the win last night over Clemson. Choo-choo! A lot of people wanted suck at Clemson last night, and I feel that's very football unique. I think that is something that we need to just leave in the football arena.
We did cross paths the one time we had a snare buzzer beater, I think.
And we had to use it,
but
right?
Yeah, outside of that, it really has not been a phenomenon for basketball.
Let me tell you why. While this version of Clemson is impressive, annually they are not. It does not warrant a suck at Clemson. You have to regard Clemson in a certain way to warrant that kind of vitriol. And in football, they have earned it because they've been good. It's a testament to them. But basketball, it's just whatever.
Yeah, I was wondering how you'd go in that department today because, yeah, we were a 4.5-point favorite. You know, that's the other thing. They're the RPI number 4, but we're a favorite at home. So Vegas clearly saw something. And then you factor in, too, like you're talking about, the tradition is not there for Clemson, but an 18-point lead was in the second half. So I wondered if the comeback would yield enough.
No, just
for
gets
you
a
to utter the
mighty
words.
choo-choo is all it really gets. You know, one of the things I liked is that I had a follow-up from somebody. They made me laugh. They did a very good job of talking about they had sent a tweet to me during the game. Now, I don't check Twitter during the game ever. Really, unless I happen to stumble across it for some reason or I'm looking for something else, just because it's annoying. And I'm watching the damn game. So the person tweeted, this is why we get so mad at Ham and blah, 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 and this offense is terrible, and da-da-da. It was all in the first half. And then I got to give them credit. They came back and tweeted that and then rallies to win us a game like that. Boy, we love, they were actually making fun of themselves.
Right.
And it was beautiful.
Totally redeem yourself.
That's right. And I told them that I was basically proud of them. They did a good job. Several others of you tweeted and or emailed something to the extent of, we're not getting on that trolley. We are not getting on that damn trolley. You can't make me go on that trolley. We are not ding-dinging nothing. And I like that. And the team kind of showed the same fight last night, right? No, I see you lurking over there behind the tree trolley. We're not getting on.
Now, there are dongs at Dick Hauser, but there's no ding-dinging over at the TLC Double C.
No, that's right. We'll get some tape-measured dongs starting tomorrow at the Dick. Good times.
That's right.
A lot of fun. Dick Hauser Stadium, Mike Martin Field, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Martin Jr. is going to join us on the program tomorrow. You'll hear it tomorrow. He actually joined me this morning, for a long form that we do every year at the start of baseball season, and I celebrate the hell out of that. Good times indeed, because it means the return of precious Florida State baseball, and Xavier rolls into town for a 3-game set. Preseason top 5 team should be a lot of fun.
You know, I listened to it, obviously, as I produced that segment. When,
you did, indeed.
When Coach called in this morning. It was lunchtime. It was right around then. But I can't wait to hear it again, because I need some of these new names. No. Like tomorrow, I'm not even trying to do the promotion thing. Like, I got to hear it a second time, because the first time through, I'm like, all right, what questions can we ask now?
Right.
Or does he like this guy? Let's take away some. No, I just want to enjoy the damn thing. It's going to be playing around quarter after 3 tomorrow.
Just barely after 3. It'll be really kind of the first thing we do after I introduce it, and then we roll.
But we know what the anchors are going to look like in the lineup. We know the big players. We know about Holton, Mendoza, Raleigh, Jackson Luke. We know about all those guys. But who are the other pieces that are going to help get us back to Omaha? That's what I look forward to hearing again tomorrow.
And you will, thanks to our friends at Williams Insurance.
That's right. If you don't know insurance, Jeff, know your agent.
Give them a call today, 877-8555. Well played, sir. That's actually the number. I wasn't kidding there, folks. If you need one, there you go. You got that. No, it's exciting. And last night's win was also exciting for Florida State, that you'd argue that they were in they were set to be in dire straits. I think we could put it that way, had they lost that game.
Yeah.
But they didn't lose that game, and they rallied from 18 down. And in doing so, and I'll talk about this in a second, another really quality win within that top 50 of the RPI, top 5 of the RPI last night. Getting that win may have just punched the ticket. And something happened in the game. We talked about it last hour and in the first hour, but a lot of guys took turns kind of being heroes in this game and really being the impetus for the comeback. But Trent Forrest, man, is a guy, if you've listened to the show this year during basketball season, you know I've been really high on. I know they are too. I love that guy. It seems to me whenever he's on the floor, good things are happening for us. He affects the game. And he affects the game with toughness, with speed to the basket. He slashes and he can get to the rim. He's not a great shooter yet, and that's what many people tend to think about. But he's a plus player, man, and it was good to see him shine and have a moment last night.
Yeah, you got to give him a couple options when he's on the court to kick out for a perimeter shot, because you can't. The one thing that I can't stand is when we pass back and forth between Forrest and Mann. Neither one of them want to take the shot. Mann can actually hit it, but he refuses to shoot the ball.
He doesn't hit it enough. Yeah, I don't want him shooting the 3.
If he's open,
no. Almost every time I see him catch, if he's wide open and begins to shoot the 3, I go, "Don't do that."
I think he's actually decent at it. But anyway, to watch him operate down low and in the paint, Trent Forrest, that is. We know about what Mann can do as a slasher, and that's all fun, and it's something we should not take for granted. I'm not trying to do that. But you know the baskets I'm talking about last night.
Tough ones.
You drive into the paint, and then you got a 360 leaning to your left, and you find a way to put that. I mean, Trent Forrest, have yourself a night.
Man, I was dancing in circles.
And it's sustainable because he puts his body, the control he has in his body down low is so good. The one thing I'd like to see improvement on.
Tracked the block and did everything else.
And I know they're working hard at it, and it doesn't happen overnight. See Michael Ojo. But free throws, because if you can actually get somewhere around 75-80% from the free throw line, that's never a bad play. Right now it's a good play when he's feeling it, but if he gets hacked, then I don't know what we're going to get. But he had a couple of big free throws down the stretch last night.
Front end of 1-and-1s. By the way, I would also note, I looked it up this morning because I was curious. It seems to me that he's hitting those baskets, those free throws in ACC play.
Yeah.
You know he's now over 78%. That is good news from the free throw in ACC play.
Well, and a couple of pressure ones, not just tonight, but then also on the road at Louisville, he had a couple of big free throws too. But you're right, there was a 1-and-1 because somehow there weren't any fouls called in the second half after the first half.
Somehow indeed.
First half, well, for either side, really. But the first half was a whistle fest.
Well, the good news was that I like when officials make adjustments and realize they're killing the flow of a basketball game. One thing to note here, and there's no getting around this, and this is why,
us, by the way.
Well, yes, it did. And this is why Florida State is a dangerous team if a game is called a certain way, because we'll force turnovers now. And we forced a bunch of them in the second half, and stop turning the damn ball over ourselves like we did in the first half, which led to those transition baskets. Completely changed the complexion of this basketball game with those steals and baskets around the rim there, getting out in transition.
Well, you look at the intensity we brought to the table, the adjustments we made defensively, for the crowd that says no adjustments ever. That was last night. It's the antithesis of what you've seen at the Tucker Center twice this year.
Yeah.
Louisville
Normally
and Virginia.
first half were really good, terrible to start the second half. This was the opposite
right.
indeed.
You're down 18 with 18 minutes to go, and you see intensity and hellfire and brimstone from our defense in the half court and what we're able to do and generate easy baskets on the way to a 17-2 run.
Ham says all the time that he really likes to stay in the moment, does not want to change too much of what it is he's preaching to the kids, whether they're up 20, down 20, tied, doesn't matter, because steady Eddie, slow and easy wins the race, slow and steady wins the race. I got to believe the halftime speech saw him break character. I mean, I've got to believe a little of your tournament lives are on the line. We go down swinging tonight. This ain't 3 weeks ago where we're going through the motions and things aren't going our way. This is, look, you sons of bitches, this is it. If you want to go dancing, it begins now, this half. Give me all you got. Because he can't say it, but he might as well have said, because Pitt Sunday and a week off after. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Everything you got. I don't know if that happened. I really don't. He may just be that even keel. I was yelling that.
Sure.
That exact speech, I was screaming. But I don't know if he broke character. I'll have to talk to somebody who was in the locker room.
Well, and it's just, you think about these baskets early in the game like they don't mean anything, but that MJ Walker was able to provide you 5 in a quick flash there when we're down. It looks like we're not even here. It's not happening for us.
18-8 or whatever it was.
Well, yeah, 13-2 at one point. I thought the offense looked okay the first 4 or 5 possessions where you're generating open looks. We just weren't hitting them.
Not knocking them down, yeah.
But they respond. Clemson with, listen, they shot, I think it was 11 threes in the first 8 minutes of this game. They're all open. Those aren't bad shots. They're not forcing it. We were collapsing and allowing wide open looks, and that's why they hit.
Frustrating.
Seven threes in the first half, and I just thought that there were so many points in this game, and this is this team in a nutshell. MJ Walker had to hit a couple of baskets early on in this game. You talk about what Phil Cover did in the second half.
Yeah, without question.
Force down the stretch in the second half, then in overtime. C.J. Walker with the big 3 down 74-70 in overtime. I mean, you get big baskets from different players at key moments.
Well, one of the reasons they're enjoyable to watch, one of the reasons I champion them and celebrate them is they are a team. They have to be. They don't have an individual superstar. They have to play that way. What does it all mean? We'll look at the RPI. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Oh.
Oh, and did I mention that it's all very affordable? We have helped many businesses in all categories solve their marketing problems, and we would love to help your business next. It's easy. Just pick up the phone and call me at 561-8400 during normal business hours, or go to espntallahassee.com anytime and shoot me an email. No matter your advertising budget, we can help you solve your marketing problems and have fun doing it. Let my team of professionals go to bat for your business. Call me today, Alan Willis, at 561-8400. And get your business off the bench and into the game today with WTSM 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit. And at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Now I know my ABCs.
What happened to the rest of the letters, Chris?
That's my fee, Miss Janet.
What are you talking about? What fee?
Just like when you're charged a sign-up fee on a personal loan.
Sign-up fees on the alphabet don't make sense. Neither do fees on personal loans. Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers no-fee personal loans for home renovations, major purchases, or managing credit card debt. Don't get feed. Visit Marcus.com.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Of the day, can you go 1-1 in the Final Four? Pitt Sunday and Boston College final game of the regular season, both at home. You win your home games, you're going to the tournament. Because some of you are asking, well, what's it all mean? Where are we at? No, it means a lot. And, you know, Tom, as you've pointed out, again, the time off, I'm no longer as pessimistic about the opportunity against NC State. I don't think we'll beat Clemson there. But I'll take a shot at that NC State game now. You could win 3 of your last 4.
Yeah, there's a chance to win, all the rest of the games, and that's not being overly,
no, you could.
I mean, we could. We're capable
not
of doing
predicting that, though. Yeah.
No. It's more likely you go 2-2 than anything else. I think is that.
Yeah, I think that feels right. I think that feels right. I would call the NC State game. There's 69 in the RPI.
Nice.
Nicely played. I was waiting to see if you do it. A toss-up. By the way, on that note, let me talk about that for a second. I got to give ESPN.com credit. The insider page, they do a very good job with their insider pages. Their regular website's garbage, but the insider pages are all very good. And I say they're garbage. It's just frivolous stuff like all the other websites. It's not any worse or better than, say, I don't know, Yahoo Sports, Sporting News, Fox Sports, you name it. But if you get the insider stuff, it's good stuff. There's really good insight
down
there.
to that nitty gritty.
Yeah, you get down to it. The stuff you wish were on the front page of,
right.
But but it's been relegated now because it's not. It hasn't been. It's not a polarizing issue. It's not a debatable LeBron is the greatest or not article.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I need to see 4 or 5 Stephen A. Max Kellerman videos.
Right.
I'm sure the ratio is actually spelled out in their contracts, too, that Stephen A. gets 60 to 70% of those videos.
Do you think that's true? You think it's spelled out in the probably agents do stuff like that?
Well, with Stephen A., too, knowing a little bit about him behind the scenes?
Yeah, I would think that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
What I cared about was looking further. We were talking about Rinaldi, right? We wanted to see a little bit closer to the resumes, and this is the time of year where you can start looking at your resume and a bunch of other people's resume and see where it stacks up. And it's always funny because of name recognition, how many teams will go or how many people will go, oh, they're in, and if they're a big name, and they're out if they're a bad name or a non-traditional name. And then you compare those numbers without the logos, and you go, oh, that's the same resume, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So what I tend to do is at this juncture, and I wanted to do it after last night because you just beat the 4th-ranked RPI team in all the land, is just once again hyper-focus on a couple of key things we know the committee's going to look at when they look at the entirety of a resume. RPI top 50 wins. Florida State now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, and that includes wins over the number 6 rated RPI team and the number 4 rated RPI team. Those are good wins. By the way, for the record, those wins are Florida, North Carolina, Syracuse, Miami, Louisville, and now Clemson. Losses to top 50 RPI teams that don't hurt you. I mean, losses hurt you no matter what, but if you got to lose, if you got to lose to the really good ones. You lost to the number 1 rated RPI team by 4 points. You lost to the number 39 rated RPI team, whom you've also beaten, by 4 points. You lost to the number 28 rated RPI team in the country currently, whom you've also beat by 6 points.
At Louisville?
That was Miami.
Oh, Miami.
Louisville was 4.
Okay.
And you lost to Duke, at Duke, the number 10 rated RPI team in the country now, by 7 points. So, listen.
Number 10. What a crappy season, Kay, with all that talent.
Look what you're doing, buddy. So, when we do the resume thing, man, those are impressive wins. In addition to the fact that there is such a thing, I don't care what they say, there's such a thing as good losses. There just is, especially if you're on the bubble. And we're not on the bubble right now. But when they see, how do you compete against the best? Well, you've beaten 6 of them, and even in the 4 that you didn't beat, you were right there in every one of them. You actually could have won those games. You played exceptionally well in those games. You were right there to the very end in those games.
So you're saying we're over 500 in that mark?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so when you play the best, we got a better than 50-50 shot.
Well, so far this year, when we play the best in this conference.
Okay.
And we are very good. Now, then you want to know, what are your bad losses? Also, by the way, do you have wins from 51 to 100? Well, listen, Virginia Tech is just outside the top 50. They're at 58. That's a road win for Florida State. They're 91-82.
They're climbing still. I know
They
about this
continue to
week
climb,
and what Duke did to them last night, but still.
Yeah,
still.
91-82 in that game at Virginia Tech. So, again, that's a good win. They're 58th. So, you could, it's right there on the outside, just looking in, close. Your losses to teams from 51 to 100 that they may factor in and say, these are tough losses. Again, you don't have but one horrible loss, and that is Wake Forest at 117. Because the Notre Dame lost, they're now 67 in the RPI and climbing. Boston College, which, again, you only lost by 6. It felt like more, but you lost by 6, and it was after the double overtime game and less than 48 hours of rest. You lost that game 81-75. They're 74th. They're not 180th. They're not, they're not something horrible like that. And Oklahoma State, whom you lost to by 1, who's gone on to get some big wins, but they are 87th in the RPI. Again, even your losses are not terrible.
Right.
This is the point of all of this would be this is a good you have no losses to a team RPI 150 or worse.
No, when you look at the bubble, let's just say that you were looking at the bubble right now and you have bad losses, there are multiple losses for the teams that are on the bubble.
Always.
That's why we're not on the bubble.
No, and the games you would look at with that RPI 150 plus, those are all wins for Florida State. So they include George Washington, Fordham, Colorado State, Kennesaw, Citadel, Rutgers, Loyola, Charleston Southern, Southern Miss. Listen, you can say, well, those are ugly games, and, man, those aren't resume builders, but you didn't lose any of them.
Right.
You didn't lose any of them. You didn't lose to Tulane. You didn't lose to Georgia Tech.
Well, the other reason we're not on the bubble, you look for good wins, and we have 6 of them.
Oh, you got more than your share,
that's,
baby.
That's we're not on the bubble right now. We're not.
Not even close.
Head of the bubble.
We're way off in the distance staring at the bubble while others begin to touch it.
Blue.
You sounded like the Count. Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
This is Unit. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill. Voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9. Happy hour drink specials and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill. 3 locations to choose from. 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Did you know that propane-powered clothes dryers outperform electric models in energy efficiency, drying time, and garment protection? So dry your clothes more efficiently with propane. Propane water heaters give you more hot water at a more affordable price. Compared to electric, energy-efficient propane water heaters can reduce your energy costs significantly. For more information, call AmeriGas Propane here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95. Plus, get a $10 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate and earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Protect your engine with Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Banditos Burritos, my friend?
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo left the team's spring training camp and returned to his home in South Florida. Rizzo is an alum of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. A former student allegedly killed at least 17 people at that school yesterday. Rizzo will remain in Florida for services this weekend and then return to Cubs spring training. Light night in the NBA, just 2 games on the slate before the All-Star break. Rockets go into the break atop the West for the first time in franchise history with a half-game lead on the Warriors. Houston is the first NBA team built to beat Golden State in the postseason and will be a handful for the defending champs, according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They have long, athletic wing players. They have guys who can shoot at 4 positions. They have terrific switching ability. They have multiple ball handlers so that if James Harden goes off the court, they have Chris Paul there. They are as deadly of a team the Warriors would have faced.
Our Brian Windhorst.
You know when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's a big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Were you asleep last night when I called you regarding the, because I know you, for people that don't know, you've been sick. So you gutted it out yesterday, went to bed right after the show, I think, right? So were you asleep when I called about the alarm?
I was somewhere between awake and asleep, I'd say.
That's not the subject of this segment. It just, I thought about it because I came here last night racing over in the midst of our basketball game because I have to do the golf show. I have to. I like to do it, but and I'm paid to do it. It's not I'm not volunteering to do the show on Sirius. But I ran by the office to grab something, and in doing so, I walked in, and the motion sensor went off, and it's the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life. And you want to talk about a quick way to get panicked. I know the security code, obviously, as somebody who works here. I hit it, it turned off, and then that lady comes on the speaker there where the control panel is, and they scream at you. It is very loud. It is unbelievably loud. It's not like a cordial They assume your guilt. Right there, their tone assumes that you are indeed breaking into the joint. I was like, no. Schnell! I work here. That's the reason I used the code to turn it off. What's your password? I don't have a password. It's a number. Hold on, I'm calling Tom. And then you didn't answer. And I wanted to text while it was ringing because I wanted to be like, dude, I need you to pick this up. This isn't ignore me time. I need you to pick this up. But then I thought, well, he's sleeping.
I always pick up, too. That's the thing. Like, I'd say 8 out of 10 times in that circumstance.
You don't always. If you're busy, you can't. I get
8
it.
out of 10 times in that circumstance, I'll pick up.
Yeah.
Not
I think I was just making an observation about the basketball game.
I thought you were en route from the house to,
to do the show.
The show. And make an observation about the basketball game. And
you're like, I can wait till tomorrow, Jeff. I'm sleeping.
Well, in the interest of transparency, I didn't watch the flow of the first and second half until this morning.
Right. So you didn't think, well, I can't even comment on this.
Correct.
I'll just chill.
Yeah. Exactly. And then I saw, I got a call from an 844 number 6 minutes later. Go, oh, son of a, really? Because I got that call the week prior because somebody else set the alarm off.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. It's not the person who's setting off the alarm's fault. Here's the deal. All I did was open the door and walk in. But the door wasn't set. It was the motion sensor instead.
Yeah, are we bypassing that front door with the yellow?
I think so. I think we're looking at him with a John Desai. I think we got a
bypassing.
Two fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you over there.
You'll get. Listen, thieves out there. You'll still get got by our motion sensor.
Yeah.
But we have I think that's what's doing it here.
Yeah. Because that front door needs to be the thing.
Yeah.
Because that was a little deep. That was a
Make sure we arm this thing away instead of stay.
Yeah.
No bypasses.
It was a toughie. Yeah. The point is of all that, it was alarming. I was flustered. I still feel a little flustered. Still feel a little on edge.
Oh, really?
Even today. Yeah. I thought I was going to get shot. I was like, they're going to come racing.
The cops are coming, man. They're calling the cops, man.
They're calling the cops, man. Here's my question to you. Because we lost, and I'm not talking about basketball, but you and I both love Olympic hockey.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, the Slovenia game?
Man.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dan Wetzel, we both think, good writer, right?
Yeah,
Does
sure.
a real good job. Mm-hmm. Here you go. I shall begin. When the National Hockey League began balking at sending its players to these Olympics, the IOC tried to play hardball. They said that if the league didn't come to South Korea in 2018, it might not allow them to play in 2022 at the Beijing Games. That's the market the NHL, like every business, covets. The NHL didn't budge and held its players out of the games for the first time since 1998, citing a disinterest in shutting down its regular season for about 2.5 weeks. I get that. I don't like shutting down the season for 2.5 weeks.
Well, there was also an issue, at least some point in the discussions about insurance for injuries to players.
Got it. After 2 days at the Olympic tournament, once an electrifying, star-studded event, the IOC should forget about negotiation. It ought to beg the NHL, bribe them even, to bring back the players. This is still hockey, and it's still teams full of national pride chasing Olympic medals. It's a mix that assures a pretty nice baseline when it comes to excitement. Maybe this gets good. Right now, it's unrecognizable and awful. Now, he writes further. But I think that's the crux of the article.
Yeah.
And I have watched some. How much have you watched?
I watched before I came in yesterday. I was in the bed still, kind of getting it together. But I watched us play the second and third periods of our game with Slovenia. So
Many are describing it as a bunch of ragtag rosters of garbage.
I don't think that's inaccurate. I don't.
It's tough, right?
Because it's a lot of cast-offs. Brian Giunta is your captain, and he's an NHL has-been. And then you got some young kids that are there, too. What I would do, honestly, at this point, is I would tell the NHL to go to hell if I was the IOC. And I would run this tournament as the same way you run the World Juniors, because if you ever actually stumble onto NHL Network,
it's awesome.
And I know 90% of this listening audience is not, but you get to the World Junior Championships.
It's awesome. I've watched it because you recommended it.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Really, really good stuff.
And it would be better than what we're watching here.
Yeah, well, you're also watching a lot of low IQ hockey. Listen, there's not enough skill out there, first of all, to cover that ice sheet, which is international size.
Huge.
It's bigger than the NHL rings. But then there's also just low IQ plays where, for example, the U.S. loses in overtime yesterday, Slovenia. They're playing 3-on-3 like the NHL, so much space. Whatever young forward they have out there, I don't know what the hell he's thinking. It's akin to a quarterback throwing the ball to the other team on purpose. That's how stupid the play he made was. You're in a 3-on-3 situation. You're going to try a short angle shot, meaning you don't have but maybe a 3% chance of scoring a goal on a rush. And you're taking your defenseman heads up. When, in essence, you could have the entire ice to yourself and settle for a good shot. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And, of course, he turned the puck over. So you have, for a hockey fan, it's bad. For the casual viewing audience, there's not enough skill.
Well, and this is where I'm getting at, and I think what Wetzel's writing, and I think we can echo the sentiment amongst other things, is that this used to be, for people who love the Winter Olympics, this used to be the finest hockey ever played. I love this version.
The centerpiece.
It was the best, and it's not anymore. It's awful. And, the Olympics try to have, the best in every sport.
Right.
What we're watching here is far from that, not just a little bit from it. A ways away.
Once upon a time, it was an amateur's thing,
right.
But now it's long since passed.
No, and so it's hard to listen. Why would I watch it when I can watch the actual NHL on any given night? Why would I tune into this?
For country and pride, sir. That's about it.
We're garbage.
But if Slovenia is going to beat us, then the Olympic athletes from Russia lose to Slovakia, and that's the group. Is like, okay, so the representatives from the group could be Slovenia and Slovakia. Yeah, I'm going to watch them in the medal round. I can't wait to watch some Slovenia and
no, you're not going to watch it, and only people from those two places are going to. So here it is. It's not.
Who knows? Maybe Norway can make it or something.
It's a mess, and I used to love it, and I'm being selfish. My viewing pleasure has been ruined.
Beyond
it's a
that,
mess.
Too, the broadcast sucks. You got Kenny Albert, who's terrible, and he's on every freaking sport in the country. He calls every sport, and he sucks at every sport.
Yes.
Can we stop with the Kenny Albert love?
Hold on.
And Mike Milbury, who's 85 years old.
God, he's still around being angry?
Well, I mean, he's like probably 70.
I'm calling time. Kenny Albert is very good in boxing.
Kenny Albert?
Yeah, he's fine in boxing.
Is he talking about, really?
No, no. For years he did boxing. He's fine.
Really?
That is true. I'm not making that up.
He could go stay
I
in
know
boxing,
you don't watch
stay
a lot
in
of
the
boxing,
ring.
so that's fine. He's fine. He's fine with boxing.
Give me Joe Tessitore all day long.
I love me some Joe Tessitore.
Yeah, that's why
he can do anything.
Well, that's why I thought he was, the 8 p.m. choice for ABC, but then Fowler strong-armed it, and he's terrible.
Yeah, Joe Tess is the man. I'll never forget one of the great compliments I've ever received is from Joe Tessitore, and I'll hold on to it forever.
There you go.
I saved the tweet or the text. It was a text. I saved it.
Kenny Albert is everywhere. I can't get rid of this guy. He's NFL on Fox. It's like, all right, I'm pumped. Let's see Bucks-Panthers division.
And you forget about Kenny Albert.
Here.
Yeah.
Son of a. And then you have Mike Milbury, who doesn't understand the modern game, and he's trying, and he can't speak fast enough. And then Pierre Maguire, who wants to tell you about what college everybody's been to. It's just a terrible broadcast, so it makes it even worse. It's even worse.
Kenny Albert's still doing fights, Tom.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's still doing fights.
He does the Rangers radio. He does Fox NFL Sunday. They give him time. I think TBS is giving him time for baseball.
NBC Sports Network, he does all the boxing there. You'd like him as a boxing
And
analyst.
they must get him for cents on the dollar. That must be it. It's got to be. He's terrible. Every time Doc Emmerich is sick, who is the legendary
Doc
hockey
Emmerich,
announcer.
that's right, yeah.
Him and Gary Thorne are on the Mount Rushmore of that.
We would love to have Gary back.
I'd take Gary for the Olympics.
I would too.
I'd take.
But, it would be tough because Gary's presence and that voice in general commands and demands a brighter product. Hearing him discuss this mess of a product would be a little bit weird. It would almost accentuate how bad it is.
Well, in essence, perhaps that's what they did. They said, you know what, Kenny, you call that.
Kenny, this seems fitting for you. This product we're rolling out here this year at the Olympics seems like a Kenny Albert product.
Kenny Albert also doesn't understand the game, and that's the hard part. He tells you how many shots there are. Listen, just a quick 101 to hockey fans out there. Chances, or people who want to get into the game, chances matter more than shots. They always have.
Of course they do.
Shots can tell a story if it's like 30-15. All right, that gives you a little bit of an idea.
That's a pretty big deal at that point.
But if chances are 12-12 in that circumstance, the better the play. You could actually kind of argue. But this freaking guy.
I actually think we stumbled across it in our talking point here, and we'll move on because nobody wants to hear any more of this. But I will tell you that
Kenny freaking Albert.
I will tell you, I think we figured it out, buddy. They were like, well, hockey's going to suck this year. Let's grab Kenny Albert.
Put Mike Milbury out there.
All right, sounds good.
To the
Kenny
South
and
Korean
Mike,
pasture.
make it happen. Here we go. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
15 seconds left. The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the Corner Pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. He's gone! Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Looking for new furniture or mattresses? Call Tallahassee Furniture Direct today at 545-7112. Brand new furniture and mattresses at ridiculously low prices. Mattress sets less than $200. Bedroom sets less than $400. Living room sets less than $600. And complete apartment packages 50% below retail. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112. Quality furniture, low prices. Delivery is available. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112.
Chili's wants to know, when was the last time you had a great lunch?
When was the last time you had a great lunch?
Oh, and we're singing too.
We go way back, baby, back with our singing.
Yeah, we do, but lunch is our thing too.
We've got 10 lunches for just $7.
Burgers, quesadillas, just $7 for lunch.
Just $7 for 10 awesome lunches.
It's even better when you say it that way.
It's pretty much the same thing, but I flipped it. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
With lunch for $7.
Or take Chili's lunch to go, baby, go, baby, go.
Available at participating restaurants only. Prices may vary in Hawaii. Not available in Alaska and Canada.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Wrapping it up, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. We got Detroit and Tampa Bay tonight. You know, there was a time, that's hockey, folks. There was a time where Detroit being at your arena was not good. It was a very disconcerting stretch of time that seemed to never end, as every year Yzerman and company were the best team in hockey, and I would get so damn tired of it.
Yeah, and I can remember going to, at least 8 of those games growing up, and it would be Joe Louis Arena South. I mean, you go to the Ice Palace, Times Forum, and it's...
You and me both. I remember it.
11, 12,000 red, you know?
It was the worst.
Yeah.
And they were great, and they were something to behold. It's a little bit like when we have those conversations about teams we can now appreciate.
Well, they were the standard.
Yeah, trying to get to that place. But it was so frustrating, though. You know, it never ended.
Well, and they reloaded, especially at the goalie position. You know,
all the time.
So they'd have their core players like Yzerman would be there, and Marty Lapointe and Darren McCarty and others. Obviously, defense, you had Lidstrom forever and a day. But goalie, they'd have Chris Osgood for a couple of different stints.
I was going to say Osgood was a guy that I can still remember. I have a friend, Dan, who now lives in South Carolina, who is from Detroit or from Michigan, and he's a huge Detroit Red Wings fan, and he would tell me, "Oh, wait till you see Osgood." And then I was so frustrated because, well, what do you mean? You got another guy?
Well, yeah, they had Mike Vernon who won the first cup for them, but then they had Osgood. Then they got Dominik Hasek in the middle of that time as well. So it just the rich got richer, and it was really annoying.
And now they're 500.
Yeah. Oh, they're fighting for their lives.
Oh, just barely staying in there.
Yeah.
You know what tonight will be? I'll watch that, and I'll watch the other basketball games and other things in general. But it's really about the eager anticipation that we all have for tomorrow, which is Florida State baseball getting started. The new year begins 4 o'clock, Dick Howser Stadium. As a reminder, as I said earlier in the program, we'll have Mike Martin Jr. on for the entirety of that hour, just about tomorrow. We do it every year at this time. It's always exciting to sit down and talk about the upcoming season, the prospects for the upcoming season, and this is a real good team with really high expectations. There are always high expectations. I'm thankful for that around here because it means you have done something to earn the reputation of, wanting the weight of those expectations to be omnipresent, and they are. And the guys over there will tell you that's how they've always wanted it, and that's what they expect year in and year out. But they're preseason top 5 this year, and they get back their starting rotation and then some. They brought in a great recruiting class, so you've got a lot of young arms, and then you get an awful lot of your offense back. And at least this version to start tomorrow is a healthy one, we think, by and large. So at least from the power standpoint, you get those guys back, you're all right. You lose one power source from a year ago. But I think, again, this is going to be a fun year for them, and I'm going to enjoy the season. I'm going to enjoy the week-to-week improvement from some of the young guys we see too.
Since the bulk of tomorrow's show, and by that I mean 99.7% of it is about Florida State baseball for that period of time where we're leading up to first pitch, percentage chance Florida State comes away with a victory on Sunday for the matinee against Pitt.
95%.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's doable. You could go through the motions and find yourself in a squirrely position, but if you're looking at Pitt these days, my goodness, they may have said that they have cashed in the chips. They're
you can just air it out on Sunday. You have the whole week. I mean, they need the rest. You can see it. They need the rest.
Yeah, and that's all the more reason to see them dig down deep last night. I'm just so impressed, and I don't think you can understate how important a game it was. We talked about it going in yesterday on the program. I said, in some sense, I felt like this was almost a do-or-die game. Yes, mathematically it wasn't. They wouldn't have been eliminated from anything if they had lost last night. But I think for all intents and purposes, we knew last night was a big, big part, would go a long way, let's put it that way, in punching your ticket to the NCAA tournament. And they beat a good Clemson team. It's a real good team that can beat you in a lot of ways. Very frustrating Clemson team because some of it came out of nowhere from last year to this year. But I worried last night going in about us overextending, worried about the three-point shot and getting beat off the bounce. Hamilton talked about that. It did happen some in last night's game, especially early on, and we really struggled there. But I'm so happy for a guy like Trent Forrest, as we talked today on the show, and I just think he's a superstar in the making. You know what I didn't know? Leonard Hamilton brought this up last night after the game. I did not realize he was a prolific scorer in high school because we know that's the thing that hinders him in college is that he's not a great shooter. But Ham brought up that he scored over 3,000 points in high school and that he was pretty prolific, and that it doesn't surprise him to see him convert on the offensive end because of that, but that he's so unselfish and he's never really worried about scoring, and he's known for his defense and for setting other guys up, that we don't think about him as an offensive weapon, but that he believes that's coming. And if that's coming, if that's going to happen for a guy like that, well, he's an all-world player because he does really defend. He's got great vision. He's physically tough. He does so many things exceptionally well. If he's going to score at all or even develop a bit of a scorer's mentality and attack the rim in that manner, listen, given what Clemson was doing to keep people from getting to the basket, the fact that he continued to do that, and other guys did too, is a really good sign because that is obviously what Clemson was hell-bent in taking away.
No, it's a team that's beleaguered and needed somebody, and this is not the first time that Forrest has done it this year. He did it on the road, too, for us a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, that's right.
But to me, I could see why he would score that much in high school because of how effectively he does get to the basket.
Yeah, he's quick.
Who stops that in high school?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Strong kid, man.
I mean, strong, and he's got post moves. You know, in a way, he's a post player in a guard's body because he's not shooting the three-pointer. That'll never be his strength. If it ever turns into one, then he will be playing in the NBA for a long time.
You know how coaches will not really revel in a victory. They'll say, listen, we're in the midst of a tough stretch. We still have games to play, games to win, important games. You know, Ham said, I don't know too many teams in this conference that are going dancing with 7 wins in the ACC, so we have work to do. Well, that's a coach's effort to get guys focused and eye on the prize type stuff, which I completely get. But you and I can revel in victory. We can absolutely sit around tonight and maybe have a cold one and think about how big a damn deal it was to win that game last night, and then to know that your great reward is that you're in a nice position as you play out the string here to make the dance, all the while making our way over to Hauser tomorrow afternoon to watch a little college baseball and a really good Florida State baseball team. It's a good night. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, get excited this weekend about what you see on the diamond at Dick Hauser, and then do what you're supposed to do on Sunday evening. Take care of Pitt, and you have a week. You got a week to say, all right, buddy, we're back to over 500 in ACC play. You got a few games left here.
All right,
Let's see if we can steal one, steal one on the road, one of your next two with NC State or Clemson.
The respite helps in that endeavor because I do think if they can get completely healthy, obviously Angola is still not right. And Mann looked a lot better last night. There's no doubt about that. But he probably still has work to do from a health standpoint.
Yeah, there was a period, like we talked about, at the end of the first half where you could tell, 15 minutes of basketball was tough on the leg. And he's setting up at the top of the key defensively. There's a limp there.
There it is.
Right.
Yeah,
he needs the break.
Yeah, he does. And I just they, again, are really embraceable because of the fight that saw them come back from 18 down in a must-win. Now, listen, you're competitors, and you're supposed to play that hard all the time, especially when your tournament lives may very well have been on the line. But not everybody does, and not every team does collectively. And they have all year. The Notre Dame game was the exception. It looked like, they just were physically unable to summon that. But in every other situation, win or loss, they have given you that. And on that torrid 10-minute run when they were down 18, again, it revealed itself, and it makes you smile, man. I love this team. I really do. I like them more than some other more talented teams that I had higher expectations for. We've had better teams. We've had better players. We've had better opportunities in the tournament if we make it there than this team. And I like this group more. I do.
How about last year's team?
Well, I love that team, too, because Isaac was such a great guy. And Isaac was somebody who was team first all the way. But there were other guys on that team that certainly didn't fit the bill. And they won 26 games and didn't lose at home. And their upside was certainly greater than this team's upside, I think we thought at the time, and certainly from a talent standpoint. This is a more likable team than last year. I just loved Isaac last year. And I like some other guys, but I really loved Isaac last year because he was selfless and was almost a pro as a true freshman, which was crazy. But this group doesn't have a player like Isaac. They don't have a player like Bacon. They don't even have a scorer like X. And look at them.
Yeah, it would have been fun to see Isaac the leader,
Oh, on this team?
Here.
Oh,
buddy, next year, whatever
it is. You get lucky
is.
sometimes with that. These teams that go on these amazing runs, and Clemson's doing it in football right now, where inexplicably guys who are set to get straight up paid large sums of money say, no, I'm good. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to lead. I'm going to continue to go to college. Well, I mean, it's not normal. When it happens, you celebrate all day long. It would have been something special. You know, I will say this. Isaac's a guy who I think and I hope long-term develops into the kind of player we think his skill set suggests he could be. But we did worry about him physically in the NBA, and this year has been that. Really of no consequence. Little less than 5 points a game. He's been hurt a ton, missed a ton of time. He's small. It would have been something to see him come back and get bigger and stronger and continue to develop his offensive game. I don't fault him for taking the money. You got to and go do the right thing, and he's a good kid.
He's still on pace, too. If you're a Magic fan, you're not panicking.
No,
the
no. He's so
he's
young.
a child.
Yeah, he's so young. It's just that it would have been cool because he could have been pretty dominant here as a sophomore as opposed to really somewhat obsolete in the league.
Well, you talk about affecting shots defensively. You don't have to put an Obiago out there for as many minutes as you have, and what you can do on the glass with a player like that. Defense. I mean, he would fill the stat sheet when he would go through scoring slumps. So he'd give you 8 points, and you'd be like, man, I wish Isaac was better than that from, at least the field.
Yeah.
But then you look at the score sheet, and it'd be like 12 boards, 4 blocks, a couple of assists, a steal. I mean, that's what he always brought to the table. But that's to take nothing away from what this team is doing right now, especially without all of that talent. You hear often about, well, Leonard's got a lot of talent. Really? This year? You sure about that? Are you sure about that this year? What this team is top to bottom talent-wise?
Oh, no.
You hear that a lot.
Well, you dismissive people who don't like to give credit. This is the thing I bitched about the other day, which elicited the response that it did. That's fine. I mean, we know the deal. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to get bogged down in that anymore. At the end of the day, man, they're doing an amazing job. The coaching staff is doing an amazing job. These kids are working their tails off, and they're really likable. And we're all Knowles here, man. And so I just – making the tournament. That was the whole eye on the prize here, guys. Make the tournament. The rest is gravy. Some years I won't say that. Perhaps next year I won't say that because this group largely comes back, and they're going to be very, very, very good. And so maybe I'll have a higher expectation than just making the tournament.
Especially if you get Kofor back. What a second half.
Man, that guy right there. I feel like a proud dad. It's ridiculous. Look at you, Phil Kofor. I mean, willing it at the end of that game. Willing it. Shot after down 8, down 6. Gotta have it. Any of those shots don't fall, you lose the game. I mean, literally, you lose the game. At was 8-point spread.
I think 7. He answers back with a 3.
Yeah, well, that was huge. But he also, I think we gave up. I think it's a 6 or an 8-point game, and he hits the little free throw line fadeaway to cut it, and we were at the point of being bereft of hope.
Sure.
Because if that does not fall and they go down and score, and God forbid they hit a 3, it is over. You just don't have enough time.
Well, even inside of a couple of minutes, he hits a fadeaway close to the bench. That's,
tons of them. Yeah. Oh, and arcing, crazy-looking shots.
Crazy.
But they're drawers.
Yes.
I mean, they are straight money. Listen, that guy played with confidence and heart and toughness, and they followed his lead for a stretch there. That guy, man, kudos to him because, he started out really good. Then we saw the Phil Kofor that we remember seeing from previous years, and we thought, all right, well, he's a better version, but he's back to being a little bit down to earth here. No, he said, I'll have none of that. I'm coming back. I'm going to lead you in some ways. And he has. He's had games where he's had to score. His 16 or his 18 or his 17 have been huge almost every time out. So it's a good night to sit back, watch some hockey, enjoy the golf from Riviera, flip around, catch the other college basketball games, and do so with the satisfaction of having garnered a huge win and knowing, like I said before as we sign off, that you're going into Hauser tomorrow for the start of another FSU baseball season. Good times indeed. Good work out of you. Thank you, Matthew, as well, to all those that called and or listen. Surely do appreciate it. Be well. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.